Is my audio clear, my video clear, everything perfect? Yes, excellent. Then let's continue. We have finished our first chapter, that is introduction. देखो, if we go by our textbook, it is the first chapter. लेकिन technically speaking, introduction contained primarily how we will be going about our syllabus and the tax rates, which of course was very important, but that part is now over. Now that it is over, we move on to the textbook wise. If you go to it, is going to be the second chapter, but technically speaking, this is going to be our first chapter in our syllabus. So let's go. Can you see the screen? Yes. Let's go and start our second chapter, double taxation avoidance agreement. DTAA, double taxation avoidance agreement, DTAA. This agreement internationally is also known by another term called treaty. Treaty. This you must have studied somewhere in school history. Treaty. So we can call it a double taxation avoidance treaty also. This is just another name for the same thing. Arey mitro, Virat Kohli is also called Chiku, no? हाँ, तो treaty and agreement one and the same. It is only one additional name, and we all have names which we cannot say in public, but this is something which can be discussed in public. So treaty, and a third name, double taxation avoidance convention. The term agreement equal to the term treaty equal to the term convention. Internationally, these words are used interchangeably. Sometimes they will use the word convention, sometimes they will use the word treaty, sometimes they will use the word agreement, but the full name is going to be double taxation avoidance treaty, agreement, convention, anything like that. And you open ICAI ka textbook, study material, institute ka study material. I have told you in the introduction lecture that every illustration and every question of ICAI study material is covered in our additional question bank that I have given you. I can give false information also. Did you check it for yourself? No? Trust hai na sir? Trust hai sir. Cool. Trust hai, excellent. But check it for yourself if at all you want to. In ICAI study material, this is known as double taxation relief. The name of the chapter in ICAI study material is double taxation relief. So we are starting a chapter, double taxation avoidance agreement. Agreement is also known as treaty. It is also known as convention. These are three names of the same thing. Double taxation avoidance, treaty, agreement, convention. And ICAI ke study material mein, it is by the name double taxation relief. See, obviously, if there is double taxation, we are going to give you relief. And for the purpose of giving you this relief, there is going to be a treaty, a convention, an agreement between two parties for the purpose of giving you relief. Before I start the chapter, Mitro, listen to me very carefully. Do you know that in direct tax you have 30 marks of international tax, compulsory international tax? I said this at the end of the last class. Those who were present till the end and those who were actually attending the last lecture know this, that in that 30 marks international tax, which is compulsory for everyone, double taxation relief is one of the most important parts. Minimum 6 marks. It can go up to 8 if there is a little difficult question, but minimum 6 marks guaranteed from this chapter. That is how important this chapter it is as far as your CA final exams are concerned. A very, very important chapter. And good news is that it is an easy chapter also. If you take it little seriously also, no, you can get full marks in the sum. If you do not make any silly, stupid mistake, clerical error, you can score full marks in this sum. You have to do hard work, but be a little smart also. What are those areas of my portion where I work little and score more? Our focus should always be on that. And this is one such area, a very scoring area. 30 marks international tax. And 30 marks international tax is mandatory for everyone. Right. And another good news. By chance any student desires to take elective paper of international tax, ultimately you have to choose something. Which one to choose is completely your choice. Whether you go for international tax, or you go for risk management, or you go for economic laws, or you go for capital markets. Multidisciplinary case study no one takes. And as far as GFRS is concerned, the people are yet to understand Ind AS. So GFRS is always a question mark. So there are some people who take elective paper international tax. That's 100 marks paper. Correct? Hai? Every word, please listen to me carefully. Every word that we discuss here in this chapter, word to word, word by word, English में बोलता है verbatim copy, verbatim मतलब word to word copied in the study material of elective paper international tax. Also, you can put it this way, some students are definitely learning this chapter for 130 marks. 30 marks everyone, but some students for 130 marks. That is how important this chapter, double taxation relief, is. And along with being important, it is easy. So that brings the double advantage here. Very, very important chapter. Is the importance clear, everyone? Okay. So what exactly is this chapter? Whenever you have double taxation, it will result in genuine hardship. See, I am making you understand the background of the chapter. If you understand the logic, the background, the idea, so you will understand the provisions. Section wise, there are only 3 sections. Section 90, 90A, 91. 3 sections, chapter over. But understand the background. Whenever there is double taxation, this means we are creating genuine hardships for the assessee. Making an assessee pay double tax is just not acceptable, mitro. I'll tell you something. I belong to the Marwadi community. You have some idea about what the Marwadi community is? Little idea? For us, single taxation is also a problem. Double is out of question. Single taxation is also a problem. We try to avoid if possible. Gujju is also included. Marwadi, Gujarati, majorly same. There is only one border between Gujarat and Rajasthan anyways. Single taxation maybe we have a problem. Paying double tax is out of question. So we are going to give the assessee relief. This chapter is going to teach us how that relief will be calculated. And in order to provide that relief, there is going to be an agreement. Agreement is also known by the word called a treaty, also known by the name called convention. This agreement or this treaty or this convention will be signed between whom? Ultimately, for every agreement, there have to be 2 parties. No? Who are going to be those 2 parties between whom this agreement will be signed, and how will the relief be calculated? That will be taught to us. Yes, I have to teach you relief. Of course, I have to teach you relief, but I cannot unless I first make you understand what do you mean by double taxation. It is important for you to understand the meaning of double taxation. Once you know double taxation, we will go to the second step in the chapter, how to calculate relief and who will do an agreement with whom. So you understand the chronology. Any Mota Bhai fans here? Aap chronology samjhe. You know which Mota Bhai? Presently in the country there is only one Mota Bhai. That way. Understand the chronology. First we will understand the meaning of double taxation. Then we gradually move to what do you mean by treaty and how to provide relief. Let us understand the meaning of double taxation first. First things first. What is double taxation? And in order to explain this, I have to first discuss with you a very, very, very important concept. when I am discussing this concept, even if there is disturbance around you, if I ask you a question, answer will be in one word. Sometimes the answer may simply be yes or no. You have to unmute, you have to shout the answer and immediately mute. I know you are going to be too lazy. Arey sir, drag karke my hand will reach space bar, tab tak to other people will give answer. So itna effort I don't want to take. In your interest, I want you to do it. Because, listen carefully, give as many stars as you want. This is the most important concept of international tax. And if we leave the elective aside, because elective we are not interested right now, we are in paper 7, 30 marks international tax everyone has to study. And every time I do any chapter of international tax, any chapter, this point will come. This is that point which gives rise to international tax syllabus. Understand that. And once you understand this concept, you will understand what is double taxation. And then we can talk about relief. So, the chronology changes. First, we understand this important concept of international tax, which will come in every chapter of international tax. With the help of this, we will understand double taxation. And finally, we go to calculation of relief. A very, very important concept. Please be very attentive when this is being discussed. Globally, English रे दुनिया भर में, globally, whichever country levies income tax. See, there are some countries in the world which levy income tax. For example, India. Thank God there is income tax in India. अपना भी घर चलता है, bro. Thank God there is income tax in India. अरे जोक तारे स्माइल नो, मरेले लोग ऐसा स्टैच्यू की तरह ऐसा. Thank God there is income tax, अपना भी घर चलता है, स्माइल करो. फेक वाला नहीं. Globally, there are some countries which levy income tax. India is an example. Whichever country levies income tax, there will be two principles of levy of tax. Two principles of levy of tax. See, there are some countries which do not have any income tax, no income tax at all. We call them tax haven countries. Heaven matlab not Jannat, H-E-A-V-E-N, heaven. Not that Jannat. You all follow social media trends or no? Jannat dikhata mai, Jannat dik. You have not heard that audio before? No? Seriously? Kundi laga lo saiya. No? You follow me on social media. Anyways, this is not that Jannat wala heaven. This is H-A-V-E-N. Not Havan also. Huh? Not Havan. Heaven. A country which does not levy income tax. UAE, Dubai, for example, no income tax. Recently they introduced a Dubai VAT 5%, and all Indians ka Dubai trips became expensive by 5%. Otherwise, they don't need income tax because they have oil wells, they have tel ka kuwa. With that, they have enough income to fund the government plans that they don't need income tax. So, there are some countries which don't have income tax. Leave them aside. Tell them tata bye bye. We are now talking about those countries which have income tax. There are countries which have income tax. They will levy income tax on the basis of two principles. Very important concept of international tax. Principle number one, the principle of residence. And second, the principle of source. Principle of residence and principle of source. The country which levies the principle of residence is known as the home country, and the country which applies the principle of source is called the host country. Sir, we are not understanding anything, but I will explain now. Now listen. I will have to ask some questions, and questions ke liye I need someone. I cannot take an example. For example, my laptop went to a picnic abroad. Hi laptop, which country you went? ऐसा I cannot do that. तो थोड़ा सा style has to be changed. Hi Priyanshu, good morning. How are you? Too lazy बोला सर, सुबह सुबह सोने दो ना. Why are you taking my name and talking to me? Good morning. Priyanshu, I have some personal questions for you. And by the way, listen guys, if I am talking to him, does not mean that I am explaining only to him. Explanation is for the entire class. I hope you understand. Okay. Priyanshu, I have some personal questions. If you don't mind answering. If you think I am getting too personal, you immediately tell me that you don't want to participate. I'll pick up some other student. At the end of the day, it is an example. Okay. And I need someone to participate with me. I think you are sporty enough to participate with me in class, Priyanshu. Shall I? You approve, you permit me to ask some personal questions?
Yes.
Priyanshu, your attempt is May 23 or November 23. Matlab, this is the level of my questions. See how personal I am getting. Okay. And I don't see there is any problem in answering this question. May or November? November 23. I anyways can make out that May 23 there are hardly any final CA students because May 20 May inter exams did not take place. So unless there is someone who is repeating an attempt, May 23 will not have any student number. Anyways, November 23 is the crowd number. Barabar hai, Priyanshu. So November 23 is your exam and January 24 May your results will come out after 2 months. In January 24, you are going to become a chartered accountant. It is now going to be CA Priyanshu Jain. Jan 24. It's a matter of this much time only now, Priyanshu. And then in February में मुहूर्त होता है, तो February में engagement होएगा. And somewhere around, you want winter का के summer का wedding? मतलब that is a choice I am giving you. Winter का. तो listen, वो February में immediately निपटेगा. Jan के अंदर winter will be going on. मतलब you don't expect कि Jan में result आया है तो family will wait till December. If you want winter तो immediately होगा. Otherwise I would have given you time till May. Still winter? तो February के अंदर इतना भी patience नहीं है bro में. Okay. तो February में engagement and immediately within a span of few days शादी also. पक्का ना? Done? That's your plan. And by the way, let me tell you Priyanshu, even if that's not your plan, no, ultimately when we belong to the Marwadi community, no, parents are waiting for the child ka ye. And the moment you have your professional degree, your auction will immediately start. 1, 2, 3, sold, talk. Auction देखा है कभी? And the bidding will be very high, with your professional degree. चल point पे आते हैं. My question basically is, immediately after your wedding, you would want to go somewhere for a picnic. A picnic. Where? Don't say Ahmedabad. Where? There's some foreign country which has income tax. मतलब that's the SS. He is like कि sir तुमको जाने का है मेरे को जाने का है. I will decide or you will decide. But it is an example. So take some foreign country which has income tax. Europe. Europe is not a country, it's a continent. But चलेगा. मतलब you mean to say multiple countries in Europe. हाँ, geography हमारा सबका weak था anyway school में. तो I mean Italy, Spain, वो आजू बाजू का जर्मनी, all those multiple countries you are. Greece, वो यूरोप में आता ना. Santorini, ठीक है, चलो, done. Italy for example, okay. वहां पे currency is euro. Euro ही चलता होगा ना. Which other currency? हाँ. So when you leave from India, a good quantity of foreign currency you have taken. But now Priyanshu, I have some bad news for you. The lady which is with you, your newly married wife, you didn't realize, you were not aware, you were not told or warned about this before, that normal people eat thrice, breakfast, lunch, dinner. She eats more than 30 times per day. Every 15-20 minutes, सी इज हंग्री, बोला भूख लगा है, भूख लगा है. अब सी इट्स अ न्यूली मैरिड वाइफ, तो यू कांट नो प्रियांशु टेल हर के व्हाई आर यू हंग्री अगेन एंड अगेन, बस ओनली थ्राइस. एवरी टाइम शी इज हंग्री यू विल हैव टू गिव फूड. अभी फॉरेन कंट्री के अंदर है, एवरीथिंग इज एक्सपेंसिव, यू बाय फूड, यू स्पेंड मनी. बैड न्यूज ये प्रियांशु दैट योर मनी गॉट ओवर. Your trip was for 1 month. Europe में वैसे भी before 1 month there is no point because you will not be able. Then you choose only one country and go for 1 week and come back. Otherwise full Europe के लिए you need at least 1 month. Your trip is of 1 month and in 8-10 days तो your full money is only over. And your money is over. Bad news further ये है कि she is still hungry every 15-20 minutes. अभी क्या? You use your credit cards. After qualification banks will give you credit cards. Currently when you in student life no अपना credit worthiness is such that banks give only debit cards. Only if you all have balance you can make transaction. Credit card नहीं मिलता. But now that you are a professionally qualified CA, credit card will be issued by the bank to you and you start swiping your credit card. Now every time you swipe your credit card you get a SMS at home, your account has been debited, your account has been debited. इधर घर पे हार्ट बीट इज गोइंग ऊपर नहीं जाएगा. every 15-20 minutes there is some fraud, probably they are not able to contact you, they have blocked your card. So cash over, card blocked, but hunger not yet over. सबसे बड़ा bad news is that only. So Priyanshu, you are left with no choice now. Okay. Now when you are in that foreign country, you will have to take up a part-time job. At least. So that you can earn itna कि food का expense is taken care of. See, ultimately your return tickets are booked, everything else is booked. But food के लिए money is not enough. And you never had an idea about this, no? And imagine, if you are not able to give only proper food to your newly married wife, Priyanshu, Europe के return flight में you will be alone. अभी, see, तो food का तो arrangement at least, Priyanshu, you will have to do, no यार. You take up a part-time job. Food के expense के लिए. And now the whole summary of the story is, I am writing this in rough. Later I will do it in fair. Okay. Mr. P because you are P, no Priyanshu. You are a resident of which country? India. See, your ordinary place of stay is India. And if you all have forgotten your residential status, 182 days, 63, 65, etc. those rules, तो chill करो. In CA final international tax में residential status का knowledge is very, very important. They have started asking detailed questions on that, detailed MCQ case studies on that, and I am going to cover this in your chapter NRI taxation. So you are, your ordinary, you 182 days, so you will be in India only, no? You are a resident of India and you have income in which country? Italy. Country का example लेना. Obviously income will be in a foreign currency, but we are converting into equivalent Indian rupees. Rupees 100. अरे मालूम है 1 euro का value is much more. And you are not going to just earn 1 euro or something. Actual income will be a higher amount. It is only an example. 100 rupees. Question is this now. Question is this. Story is to created only so that ऐसा heavy subject na does not feel heavy. I'll ensure that 3 hours go away, you don't even realize. Okay. So all that drama, all that mahal, all that atmosphere ka nautanki has to be done. But point is this. A resident of India has earned income in Italy. That is the summary of my story. And thank you Priyanshu for being sporty enough to participate in this whole discussion. And those who are wondering कि sir ये actually में यूरोप का ड्रीम तो मेरा था sir, तो you should have taken me as an example. Don't worry. एक एक करके आना, सबको मौका दिया जाए. Everyone will get a chance. It's a long batch. It is 200 plus hours. It is 70 plus lectures. सबका number आएगा. Okay. And whenever I have to take examples like these, no, I have to obviously restrict myself to the male department of the class. I have to behave myself when I am talking to female students. वैसे I don't distinguish or I don't believe in any discrimination. मेरे लिए every student, whether boy or girl, is like my own child only. And अभी age gap इतना है कि I can call you my children. My beginning years of my teaching, the age gap was not much. But for me, every student is like my own child. So if I take you also as an example, please don't get offended. Ultimately, the objective is today's knowledge of taxation should be better than yesterday's knowledge of taxation, and that should happen every day. Okay, objective wo hai. Short summary is resident of India earning income in a foreign country. Question ye hai, on this income which you have earned in Italy, will government of India collect, levy any tax? That's a question which I am asking you. A question. Answer is a simple yes or no. And that is what I told you, that in this concept, this important concept which is going on, I need participation of students. Yes, no bolne ke liye you can come ahead, space bar, yes, no, jo bolna hai, bol ke again mute, no problem. Is this income going to be taxable in India? Will government of India levy tax? And of course, videos are on, which is compulsory anyways. And if you are nodding your head like this, that also is making me understand that yes, why are you have earned in a foreign country? Then why is it taxable? Because India is your home country and India has applied on you the principle of residence, and that is why India is going to tax you on this foreign income. Though it is earned in Italy, it is going to be taxable in India. That is known as the principle of residence. When you learn to study the tax for the first time in CA intermediate, when you entered a taxation lecture, चावल का लोटा को लात मार के, कंकु का थाली में पैर डुबा के, when you entered one step at a time in that classroom, background में music was going on. First thing that you were taught is globally these principles of levy of tax. Even if you were not taught residence source करके specifically, you were at least taught this much, that a resident has to pay tax on his world income or global income, something like that. Resident has to pay tax on income earned anywhere in the world. You have been taught this. Correct? Hai? So therefore, this 100, Priyanshu, is going to be taxable in India. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes? Okay. Second question. Same 100. Will Italy levy tax? Will it be taxable in Italy? Some are saying yes. I can say one student saying, Aisa, I am assuming this is no. Some are saying yes. I can see someone saying no. See, yes, aise hota hai. No is like this. So be clear. Is it going to be taxable in Italy? Majority are saying yes. Those who are saying yes, a reminder, he is a resident of India. In Italy, he is non-resident. Do you stick to your answer? Still you say it is taxable. Why? Mitro. Because Italy is the host country and Italy will levy principle of source and collect tax on this 100. That same CA intermediate class where you were taught that a resident will pay tax on world income, global income, in that same lecture you were also taught that if there is a non-resident, normally we will not levy tax. But if the non-resident has earned any income in the land of our country, then on Indian income, do we collect tax from non-residents? If the land of this country has generated income for you, it is your responsibility to pay its share. And that is principle of source. Do we take tax in India from non-residents? On Indian income, not on their world income, but Indian income. So Italy will take tax on that same principle. Those who were saying no, is that clear now? Yes. So final conclusion. Mr. P, resident of India, income in Italy. That income is taxable in India. Why? Because of principle of residence. India is the home country. And that same income is also taxable in Italy by applying the principle of source. Italy is the host country. And this, Mitro, is the most important concept of international tax. If you focus carefully, It is this concept which gives rise to double taxation. I cannot explain double taxation unless I explain this first. Because this is going to give rise to double taxation. You all have already understood what double taxation has taken place. What double taxation? He has paid tax in India also and in Italy also on the same income. And now you will have to participate. Participate by unmuting yourself. And 1 second ke andar again if you mute, no problem. Anyways, your hand or you bring your hand near your mute unmute ka button. It is important because this is a very, very important concept. Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax. First, the principle of residence. Second, the principle of source. The principle of residence will be applied by the home country and the principle of source will be applied by the host country. And this is a very most important concept of international tax. This will come in every chapter of international tax, and I am really thankful to all the students who participated in this exercise. Only this can keep our class lively, interesting and interactive, and we can talk to each other and get the feeling of a physical class in an online class. Okay, it is very important to do this. Now I will repeat. Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax: residence and source. Your home country will apply principle of residence and tax you on your world income, and host country will apply principle of source and tax you on whatever you have earned in the land of that country. And somewhere this only is going to give rise to double taxation. We have already understood that with the example of Priyanshu, but we are going to write it in proper writing, proper fair mein. This. Are we clear about the two principles of levy of tax? Very important concept. And now that we are clear about this, we can come back to our chapter. Mitro, just a quick recap. We are doing a chapter called Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement. Agreements are also called as treaty or convention. We are going to give you relief from double taxation by doing this treaty. Relief milega. Matlab we will reduce your tax. But for understanding that relief, you have to first understand double taxation. And to understand double taxation, you have to understand this concept. Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax: residence and source. Residence will be applied by home country. Source will be applied by host country. And how does double taxation now arise? Because of what we have studied. Double taxation can arise in two ways. Because of these concepts, double taxation can arise in two ways. One, there is something called juridical double taxation. Juridical double taxation. Some author's textbook also writes this as jurisdictional. Juridical or jurisdictional. Which author का textbook we have to buy for DT? हाँ, ऐसा नहीं. Say Siddharth Surana. And I'll tell you good news. You don't have to buy it. It is supplied as a part of class enrollment process. So you don't have to buy. Mitro, Mumbai ka students, you were asked to collect your books from a particular location. Have you done that? So now you have idea about what study material I was talking about. Navi Mumbai ka students and students of outstation, Kerala ka, Andhra ka, the books are going to be sent via courier to you. Some couriers have already left, and outstation students anyways have to stay back after today's class. I need to talk to you for 2 minutes. Okay. So as and when the book reaches you, you will realize that now you don't need any other book. Some are like, bro, itna bhi I will not be able to complete. The additional question bank is big, big. Dekha na? अरे पेजेस भी टर्न किया. समर लाइक प्लास्टिक कवर भी नहीं खोला, छोड़ना. वेल, वेर इनफ. वन डे यू विल हैव टू ओपन दिस. यू डोंट नीड एनी अदर बुक. Okay, you don't need any other book. Okay, so juridical double taxation is the first double taxation, and second is something called economic double taxation. Juridical double taxation and economic double taxation. Two types of double taxations: juridical double taxation, economic double taxation. And they are arising because of this principle of residence and principle of source. Sir, what do you mean by that? Okay. Some authors also call it jurisdictional, but juridical is the correct term used in ICAI study material also. Under juridical double taxation, the same person on the same income is taxed twice. Same person on the same income is taxed twice. That is juridical double taxation. Every time I ask you to define what is juridical double taxation, you will say this: same person, same income, taxed twice. एक बार बोल के दिखाओ. I want to hear your voices. 1, 2, 3, start. Same person, same income, getting taxed twice. Same person, same income, getting taxed twice. That is juridical double taxation. You want an example on this? Mitro, Priyanshu is our example. And now see what is happening here. Mr. P, was he a resident in India? Yes. Income in Italy. Italy was an example. It could have been any other place, huh? Priyanshu. Ultimately, Priyanshu, I hope you realize this, that though you very proudly said Europe, you are not the only person who gets to decide this. I hope you understand you can't decide this alone. Okay. But it was only an example. And what was that amount of income? Equivalent Indian rupees example mein 100. We asked a question: is this 100 going to be taxable? Is this 100 going to be taxable in India? Yes bolo ya no bolo? We have already discussed it. It's like a revision. Is this 100 taxable in India? Yes. What is the reason? India is the home country, principle of residence. And is this income going to be taxable in Italy? Yes, because Italy is the host country, principle of source. India is the home country, Italy is the host country. So let's understand what is happening with the help of further example. Income of 100. On 100 India will levy tax. Example 30. And we are in our well within our rights to take this 30 as an example, assuming that Priyanshu falls in 30% tax bracket. See, Priyanshu, today you are a student. Once you become a professional, falling in 30% bracket is very normal, because 30 starts after 10 lakhs. And new regime maybe it starts after 15 lakhs. We have done no tax rates. That's the importance of tax rates. So, and you have gone abroad, foreign trip mein. If you have that much money, matlab your income is more than 10 lakh. Don't tell me your future father-in-law sponsored this trip. Okay. So 30 is very easy and very normal to assume. Anyways, it is an example. And of course, we will have to take one example ka rate. In Italy also, example, Italy ka income tax ka rate is 40. Now don't get technical with me, some people here. Nahi, sir, I have been to Italy. Over there it is only 22%. Arey matha, either it is an example. Example, what is the tax rate in Italy? 40. And now let's see what is happening. We have two tax liabilities, 30 in India, 40 in Italy. Yes or no? This 30 or this 40 will both be payable by Priyanshu only. Okay, someone else will pay 30 and someone else will pay 40. Is 30, 40 both payable by Priyanshu? 30 in India, 40 in Italy? तो मित्रों सेम पर्सन. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, दिस 30 का टैक्स इज बीइंग लेविड ऑन 100 का इनकम and 40 is also being levied on 100. Yes or no? So can I say on the same 100? Same person Priyanshu on the same income 100 is getting taxed twice. That is juridical double taxation. The whole story that we studied, I said that I am writing in rough because I was going to make you write in fair here. That whole story was an example of juridical double taxation. The example that I took for explaining residence and source was an example of juridical double taxation. Are you understanding this? So you will have to say it. Same person, same income getting taxed twice. What is juridical double taxation? 1, 2, 3, start. That mitro is juridical double taxation. Now, is this causing genuine hardship to the assessee? Because once we understand double taxation, I hope you remember the chronology of the chapter. What did I tell you? We have to learn relief. The idea of this chapter is relief. The name of the chapter is relief. For that, we need to understand double taxation. Now that we have understood the first type, second wala we will do under this. Don't worry, this part will also be explained. But we are under juridical. Now that we have understood, my question is this causing genuine hardship to the assessee? On 100 ka income, India has taken away 30 ka tax. Italy has taken away 40 ka tax. What is Priyanshu left with? And in all probabilities, he may not be left with that wife also. He'll have to come alone. बोला खाना खिला नहीं सकता है तो then what is the point of staying with this guy? You understand the point here? Bro, correct or no? And all the story and jokes, if kept aside and apart, can we also understand this fact, Mitro, that if this rigidity is applied or followed by governments across the world, it is going to be a big hindrance to free flow of goods and services from one country to the other. We are here talking about making the world an open market. One country ka people can sell their goods and services in another country, make money wherever possible in the world. On one hand, we are trying that the world becomes such a world, the world becomes such an open market. On the other hand, if this rigidity is followed, just imagine, then Priyanshu would preferably not go to Italy only. Na bola jane de, I don't want to go there. I'll go to somewhere in my country only. Modi ji ne bola, make in India. People of that country will also not come to India. Well, I'll stay at my home, earn less and pay less tax. Net mein, if I am getting to take home only 30, so isse better hai, how 30 you understood or no? 100 minus 40 minus 30. So net I am getting to take home only 30, better to earn something less in India. Say supposingly I earn only 50 in India, pay 30% tax, that's 15. I will still be left with 35. Why should I leave my family and my country and go? And thus, Mitro, under the concept of juridical double taxation, we are going to provide the assessee some relief. How to calculate that relief? That's the chapter, double taxation relief. Relief will be provided whenever an assessee has faced juridical double taxation. When does juridical double taxation take place? When resident of one country earns income in another country. Mitro, resident of one country earns income in another country. The home country applies principle of residence. The host country applies principle of source. Effectively, same person, same income getting taxed twice. Kya bola? Same person, same income getting taxed twice. When the same person on the same income gets taxed twice, this gives rise to juridical double taxation, and assessee will be given relief here. What do you mean by relief? Understand. Income of 100. Tax in India 30. Tax in Italy 40. Total tax 70. We are going to reduce this total tax 70. The whole idea and objective of this chapter is to reduce 7070 to a lower number. We have to reduce 7070 to a lower number. That's the whole idea and objective of this chapter, mitro. Possibilities kya hai? Possibility number 1, please listen. In this example, India says, hey Italy, he has earned in your country, you take tax. I will not take tax. I forgo. I leave my tax. That means, can I say 30 will become 0 and you pay only 40? But obviously, on this understanding that if someday some Italian comes to a picnic, there is one Italian who has lifetime settled here. If an Italian comes to India, in that case, you leave tax and we will take tax. You can clap with both hands. No, you can't clap with one hand. If I am foregoing something, then dear Italy, you will also have to forego. Samjha? So, example 1, the home country has agreed to forego the tax. So, 30 will become 0, only 40 will be payable. Example 2, in this example only. Supposingly Italy says, see India, he is your resident, you take tax, I will leave. But next time if my country ka people come there, then you leave, I will take. See, whatever will happen, it will happen from both sides. Whatever will happen, both countries will promise each other. But possibility is, home country will leave tax. That's one possibility. Is that reducing your 70 ka liability? Yes. Possibility 2, host country will leave tax. Is that still reducing your 70 ka liability? Yes. Possibility 3, please understand. What if both countries agree to make their tax half-half? For example, India says 30 is the normal tax in our country. But because you are getting double taxed, pay only 15, pay only half. Same thing Italy also does. So 30 becomes 15, 40 becomes 20, 70 becomes 35. Is our total tax still getting reduced? The idea, the objective, the purpose of this chapter is to reduce 7070 to a lower number. The whole reason why this chapter is in existence is because we want to reduce your tax liability of 70. And that reduction, what I told you right now were examples. Home country will leave, or host country will leave, or they will reduce their rate of tax. 50% was also an example. India can say that normally it is 30, but I will take only 5% from Priyanshu because there is double taxation. It can be any reduction. Idea is to bring down 7070 to a lower number. To reduce the total liability of 70 to anything lower than 70 is reduction of 70, a tax relief. So that is the relief that will be provided under juridical double taxation. How exactly this relief will be calculated? We are going to make another heading, relief, and learn that. But before we make the heading, we have one concept pending here. We will complete this concept, economic double taxation. Then we will revise everything till here. And then we go to the last step of calculation of relief. See, first we had to understand double taxation. For understanding double taxation, we understood the global principles of tax. After that, we have come to the two types of double taxation. And after this, we go to relief. Under juridical double taxation, will we get relief? Yes, because same person is paying tax in both countries on the same income. What is economic double taxation? Let's understand that also. Under economic double taxation, also the same income will be taxed twice. Under economic double taxation also, the same income will be taxed twice. So can I say this line is same? This line is same? Sir, then to Juridical and economic appear to be completely same only. Nice, sir. Nice, sir. The main difference, the actual difference, the only difference between juridical and economic is that, ladies and gentlemen, here the same income will be taxed twice, but in the hands of different persons. And this is the difference between juridical and economic double taxation. One income, two people have to pay tax. Same income, tax twice. Same income, tax twice, but two people. So under juridical double taxation, both the tax liabilities, 30 as well as 40, both were being paid from Priyanshu's pocket. Priyanshu, your pocket is that pocket which paid 30 and your pocket is that pocket which paid 40 also. Correct hai? But under economic, the two tax liabilities will be paid from different people ka pocket. And it only makes sense to make you understand this with the help of an example. Just like we have, Priyanshu is our live example for juridical double taxation. आज के बाद में, sir, what is an example of juridical double taxation? Priyanshu. So let us now understand an example of economic double taxation. Okay. ABC Limited, an Indian company, pays rupees 1 lakh ऑडिट फीस. किसको देगा? आर्टिकल को नहीं. समर लाइक, सर, डोंट गिव अस होप्स. सुबह सुबह 7 बजे वी मे जस्ट लॉग आउट फ्रॉम योर क्लास एंड go for this. ABC Limited, an Indian company, pays audit fees to its chartered accountant. Now, whether it is statutory audit or tax audit doesn't make any difference. Audit fees. Stupid question I am asking you. Is this going to be taxable income of the CA, the receiver of this income? Yes, very much. That means one thing is for sure, that the CA will have tax on this income. But story में twist is this. This fees was paid in cash. 1 lakh का audit fees paid to the chartered accountant in cash. And therefore, now I am not teaching you this section. I am telling you that there is a section in our income tax law under the chapter profits and gains of business or profession. There is a section (40A3) which says, whenever you incur any expense and you are making payment to the same person on the same day, and the expense is in excess of rupees 10,000, so you will have to pay that in account pay check, account pay draft or electronic modes. In other words, to curb cash in the economy, more than 10,000 ka expense not allowed to be incurred in cash. Some of you all are aware of this. And some prove me right. Sir, we cleared CA Inter with the help of GST. Full stop. So, ठीक है, we are going to discuss PGBP, but right now I am not teaching you. I am telling you that if you pay more than 10,000 in cash, the expense will be disallowed. Means the company will not get deduction of the, normally all expenses of PGBP are allowed as a deduction, of your business are allowed as a deduction. Normally, is my screen not visible? 1 second now. One second, wait. First of all, am I visible? Not in the same handsome size as I usually appear, but there appears to be some problem with my tab ka screen. This part which I have written, actually I have written in a separate green color. Some problem is there. I will be showing the technical guide today itself, but we cannot discontinue the lecture. But are you able to read what I have written? Okay. So let's continue the class. I'll try to get it rectified today itself, that only after showing I'll come to know how much time it will take, but we cannot cancel lectures. For that, till the time you are understanding and it is visible, there is no problem. Okay, I can reduce my size, but this is visible. So ABC Limited pays 1 lakh rupees audit fees to a CA. That CA is going to pay tax on this audit fees, yes or no? But this was paid in cash. So PGBP ka provision, I am not teaching you, I am telling you this PGBP ka provision, that under section 40A3, this is going to be disallowed. The company will not get deduction of this to curb cash in the economy. This provision was introduced where the expense is going to be disallowed. Matlab, when we compute PGBP, income of the company, this income will be added back. Whenever there is a disallowed expense in PGBP ka tax treatment, we call it therefore add back in the company's net taxable total income. So the question is the company also paying tax on this amount? Because it is getting added back, you are not getting deduction of the same. And now observe the definition of economic double taxation. Is tax being levied on the CA because he is receiving income? Yes. And also on the company because the company is not getting deduction of this expense. Normally expenses incurred for business should be allowed as a deduction. That means the same amount is going to get taxed in the CA by adding in income and in the company by disallowing the expense. But are they two different people? And that is where the difference lies between juridical double taxation and economic double taxation. When the same income is getting taxed twice, but in the hands of two different persons, that is going to be a case of economic double taxation. So same person, same income getting taxed twice, that's juridical double taxation. But two different people getting taxed, that is economic double taxation. What is the common aspect? Same income, tax twice. Same income, tax twice. The difference lies only in the first line. When it is the same person. So Priyanshu, when it was the same person paying both tax liabilities, it was juridical double taxation. But when it is two different people, it will be economic double taxation. Under juridical double taxation, my question is, was 30 and 40 both paid by Priyanshu itself? So logically enough, is Priyanshu going to be eligible to get relief? Should he be eligible? What do you think? Yes, but under economic double taxation, very, very important to note, there will be no relief to the assessee. Under economic double taxation, there will be absolutely no relief to the assessee. Under juridical double taxation, there will be relief, but under economic double taxation, there will be no relief to the assessee. See, logic is very simple. Is the government getting taxed twice? Yes. But you do one thing. Check your pocket. From your pocket, the tax went how many times? Only once. Mr. CA, you are paying only once. Dear company, you are paying only once. When we take from the same person twice, it is a genuine hardship. But when we are taxing two different people, anyways, if you observe carefully, this is like a prohibitory provision. This is to discourage you from doing cash transaction. This is basically an indirect way of punishment. And therefore, under economic double taxation, there will be no relief at all. The concept of economic double taxation is hereby declared as over. After this, whatever discussion happens in the chapter, today or tomorrow, it won't get over today, but tomorrow the chapter will get over. Whatever I teach you in this chapter, it is applicable only and only and only for juridical double taxation. The calculation of relief is applicable only to juridical double taxation because relief is available only under juridical double taxation. There is no relief which is given under economic double taxation, simply because you are paying tax only once, you have not paid tax twice. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, deviyo, sajjano and mitro, we are doing a chapter called double taxation avoidance agreement, also known as treaty, also known as convention. Whenever there will be double taxation, assessee will be eligible for relief. For that relief, there will be an agreement or a treaty or convention. So our primary objective is to calculate this relief. But for that we need to first understand what is double taxation, and for that we need to understand that very most important concept of international tax, immense participation levels required, and you will have to say it with me as and when I ask you. Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax. First, the principle of the principle of, अरे बोलो ना यार, second, the principle of source. The principle of residence will be applied by the home country. The principle of source will be applied by the host country. Because of that, there is going to be double taxation. Double taxation will be of two types: juridical double taxation and economic double taxation. Under both of them, the same income will be taxed twice, same income taxed twice, same income taxed twice. Sir, then what is the difference? Under juridical double taxation, same income will be taxed twice in the hands of the same person. Both tax liabilities go from the same person, and therefore it's a genuine hardship. We will give you relief. But under economic double taxation, which is majorly in the nature of punishment, we are going to take tax from different persons, and because one person pays tax only once, government is getting twice, but from different people, there is going to be no relief. Relief in this chapter will be given only under juridical. Relief will not be given under economic. The concept of economic double taxation, as I told you, the concept of economic double taxation is hereby declared as over. Khatam. And now we are going to learn how to calculate relief. This calculation is going to be applicable only under, mitro, only under, this calculation is going to be applicable only under, because under economic double taxation there is no relief. Only under juridical double taxation, because under economic double taxation there is no relief. Is that understood? In order to provide relief, which is now only under juridical, is this clear that the concept of economic double taxation is over and now will not be discussed ever again in this chapter? Whenever I talk about double taxation, I am only talking about juridical, because economic is over. We are not going to talk about it. In order to provide relief, there are two ways. We can give something called bilateral relief. Finally, we come to the chapter. Till now, we were discussing things before relief. Chapter ka name is relief. But for that, what is double taxation? What are the principles of tax? Finally, we come and learn our chapter. Bilateral relief will be given under section 90 and 90A of Income Tax Act. And then there is another way of providing relief, that is unilateral relief, which is provided under section 91 of Income Tax. Unilateral relief 91 and bilateral relief 90 and 90A. We are going to write a little about bilateral under this, little about unilateral under this. We will compare the two so that we understand the meaning of bilateral and unilateral. Once we understand them in comparison, we understand the meaning, we will give a heading, bilateral relief, learn that full concept in detail. Then we will give one more heading, unilateral relief, learn that full concept in detail. Chapter over. This chapter is all about learning what is bilateral relief, what is unilateral relief. Once we complete these two concepts, chapter khatam, tata, bye bye, goodbye, gaya. Finished. Okay. So, first let's understand a little comparison, the meanings of both relief. The word by in English indicates a number, and so does the word uni. Buy and uni and buy refer to some number. If you can identify the number, you will be easily able to understand what the concept is. Buy refers to which number in income tax? Income tax बोल रहा हूं, sorry, English. Buy 2. हम बोलता है there is bilateral series between India and Australia going on, something like that. Buy. And uniform, matlab the form of all the students in school should be same. It should be one. Uniform. And unicorn bike chala, unicorn. You know why unicorn is called unicorn? Some don't know that also. See, normally any bike has got 2 shock absorbers on both sides. But unicorn mein there is a central shock. It's okay. We are not discussing two-wheelers. We will keep a separate lecture on two-wheeler analysis. उसके लिए separate YouTube channel बनाएगा. Automobile engineer के लिए. Focus on the concept. Now that some of you all have rightly identified, buy means 2, uni means a single. Somewhere in this only is hidden. Under juridical double taxation, same person on the same income is getting taxed twice. मतलब प्रियांशु पे on 100 rupees का income, प्रियांशु same person, income 100 rupees, same income. India was taking 30, Italy was taking 40. Juridical double taxation का example only we can take here because economic में we don't get any relief. So what happened? Priyanshu was very upset. कि यार थोड़े दिन के लिए I went there, I earned income and both governments are levying tax. These governments are very, very unfair. Priyanshu told this to the government and also made the government understand that if you do this with me, that means people will avoid going to Italy and Italians will avoid coming to India if they have to pay double tax. And Modi ji is very smart. He is a Gujju, no? You have business in blood. A Gujju is a guy who will buy anything from a Marwadi, sell it to a Sindhi and still make money in that. That's a special talent Gujjus have, I am telling you. Okay, when it comes to monetary matters. And in any case, if you observe carefully, Gujjus are running the country. Whether the 2 leading businessmen of the country, the 2 leading political leaders of the country, they are basically owning the country in all senses. Okay. So, Modi ji realized the fact that if we start taking tax like this in both countries, India is also taking tax, Italy is also taking tax, tell me yes or no. This is going to affect free flow of goods and services from both countries to each other. So one by one, Modi ji started calling world leaders. Italy was an example, no bro. It was his choice. Someone else could have gone to Australia, someone else to New Zealand, someone else to UK, someone to London. Ultimately, where to go is your choice, no? Italy was only an example, I hope you understand. Modi ji started calling each one by one. Hello, bhai, kem cho? Cha piwa mate aavo. He makes good tea, is what I have heard from people. So he is inviting people, the world leaders, over a cup of tea. Chai pe charcha. He called one by one. Hello, Putin. Take a break from the war. Please come for some time. Hello, Biden. Biden hi hai na? Hello, Biden. Hello, Jacinda Ben. Jacinda is the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Became very popular during COVID times. People say she handled it very well. Bro, New Zealand में population ही नहीं है. By default, it is social distance because there are no people only. Okay. And here in Mumbai, if we try to maintain social distance 6 feet with everyone, half of Mumbai will have to shift to Pune. You understand the geography also before giving credit to anyone like that. Okay. So he is one by one calling everyone. Bola, aao na. And then once he invited, he explained it to them across a table. Imagine karo, they are sitting across a table and talking to each other. Sitting across a table and talking to each other. Modi ji is explaining it to them. Bola, listen Biden bro, listen Putin bro, listen Jacinda Ben. Our people coming in your country, both are levying tax. Tomorrow your people will come to our country, both will levy tax. This is going to affect free flow of trade and industry to each other, free flow of goods and services to each other. Let us reduce the tax liability of the assessee. This is a proposal given by Modi ji. And the other leader says, yes, Modi ji, with you on this. High five. Done. Agreed. That means, do you understand? Both governments together are sitting across a table. Both governments together are sitting across a table and together deciding to give you relief. That means, do you understand? Between both governments, there is enough love, affection and cooperation. They understand each other well. They genuinely want to give you relief. Priyanshu, they don't want you to pay 70 on income of 100 because you'll be not left with anything. You understand this? And thus, we are going to create a double taxation avoidance agreement, and these agreements are also known as treaty or convention. When both governments cooperate with each other, sit across a table and enter into an agreement with each other, that agreement is called double taxation avoidance agreement, treaty, convention. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore the news for you is, a DTAA is not an agreement between assessee and government of India and assessee and government of Italy. No, please. A DTAA is not an agreement between assessee and income tax department of India or income tax department of Italy. No, please. A DTAA is not an agreement between the income tax departments of the two countries. No, please. A DTAA is an agreement between two governments, mitro. When both governments cooperate with each other, sit across a table and sign the treaty, that treaty is called double taxation avoidance agreement, convention, treaty. That means, are both governments jointly involved in providing you relief? Are they together cooperating and providing you relief? Which is why it is called bilateral. I asked you before explaining the concept, bi means two, uni means single. When both are involved, it means it's a bilateral treaty. It's a bilateral relief. And there is going to be an agreement between the two governments. Understood the meaning of bilateral? Of course, we will learn the concept in detail very soon. But for comparison purposes, a little about unilateral relief also, mitro. A little about unilateral relief. Everyone with me? There are roughly around 200 countries in the world. Roughly, huh? Yeah. This you can Google and check. Some 196 or 197 if I have to be exact. And there is this one country which thinks that it is a country but the world does not recognize it as a country. I have heard aisa bhi kuch hai. Means you are a country or you are not a country, we don't know. But we'll take round figure. 200 countries in the world. Usme se one is India. But there are still remaining 199. India has already done about some 117, 118 treaties with the countries across the world. But because we are following round figure system, let's take roughly 120 treaties. 200 countries in the world, out of which India has already signed treaties with approximately 120 countries in the world. Barabar hai? That means even today, there are about 80 countries in the world with which India does not have any treaty. आप समझा क्या? What can be the reason? Sir, reason is Modi ji called. Come for a cup of tea. Is it possible that some of the world leaders came for the cup of tea, but your negotiations did not work? You tried to negotiate a treaty with each other, but the negotiations failed, they flopped, they did not work. Is it possible? Very much. Yes. We are talking about two countries, two world leaders here. at our level, no, whenever a coaching organization approaches, okay sir, you have to join us for this subject, there are a list of terms and conditions from my side, similarly from the organization side. Honestly speaking, the financial part is hardly discussed, because in CA coaching the system is fixed. There is no negotiation ever. Everyone follows the same system. Everywhere the same system is followed. It is just a confirmation. Sir, आप भी यही follow करते हो? Sir, आप भी यही? Yes, same, done. The discussion is on the non-financial part. I am an author of books. I am under a copyright contract. I cannot give my books like that to any organization and they print it and give it in their name. I can't do that. If the books have to be given, they have to be given on my cover page. But in that, how much can I compromise? To what extent I can compromise? I also can't be very rigid. So thoda I compromise, thoda organization compromise. Which in result, some of you all can see that 2 books are on my cover page and 2 books are on the organization ka cover page. It's an actual thing I am telling you. ऐसा नहीं कि I am making up a story. Negotiations happen with respect to this. Financial part, there is no negotiation. अबे CA coaching में revenue ही नहीं बचा है, तो where is the question of negotiating that revenue? There has to be revenue, no, for that. Okay? And never rely on one source of income, I am telling you. At least have 3-4 sources, at least have some income even when you are sleeping. So that you don't have to work all your life. Okay, we'll keep a separate lecture on discussing all this. The point is that at our level also negotiations don't work many a times. Today if I work with 6 organizations, I probably negotiated with 50. Shortlisted 6. Because we can have negotiations before we start work. Once we commit to each other, whether an oral commitment, the value of your commitment is very much in professional lives. And especially if you are a teacher, once you say that I am going to follow this, that means you will have to do that. Thereafter there is no negotiation. I hope you understand. So, at my level, if there are so many negotiations, do you realize that we are talking about 2 governments here? There will be so many terms and conditions which Modi ji will give. You think Putin will accept everything? He is Putin after all. Modi ji will give his terms and conditions. Biden may not accept everything. He may refuse. Not everyone is Obama that you can fool him, no, whenever you want. After Obama, there is someone called Trump also. Likewise, not everyone is Dr. Manmohan Singh. Anyone can fool him. Ultimately, someday you will get some Modi also, no, some world man. These negotiations did not work. Is it possible? I am asking you. Another thing. Is it possible that Modi ji is asking for time? See, we reached a stage where we sat across a table and negotiations did not work. But sometimes we can fail before that also. The other leader is not giving his time only. Putin is saying, no bro, I am busy with war right now. So I can't come, sorry. We'll keep it some other day. Is it possible that they don't meet only? Then where is the question of a bilateral treaty? And worst situation, Modi ji is calling, the other guy is not answering also. See, pura step was Modi ji called, that other guy answered, hi, hello hua, they gave each other time and they met each other and finally negotiation. Negotiations did not work, that is possible. They did not meet each other, that is possible. But what if someone who did not receive the call only? You must be wondering, sir, international leaders में ऐसा कैसे नहीं हो सकता है ना? If it is that North Korea वाला guy. You know that North Korea guy? King Yong, name you take his name, no, so something gets stuck in your throat. King Yong, something of that sort, that North Korea guy. He refuses to talk only. He's like, Modi ji, why are you calling me? I'll explode bombs in your country. Don't call me. I am not interested in talking to you. Actually, Modi ji ka habit hai na, whenever he meets world leaders, he doesn't shake hands. Ekdam tight pakad ke he hugs them. You've seen his habit? And everyone does not like. मोदी जी ऐसा मेरे को ये मैन टू मैन टच इतना पसंद नहीं है, इज व्हाट दैट नॉर्थ कोरिया गाय सेज. कोई लिमिट होता है, मतलब ही इज नॉट लाइकिंग, ही डज नॉट वांट टू मीट. इज दैट पॉसिबल? हाइपोथेटिकली ऐसा आज की डेट में नोबडी इन द वर्ल्ड विल डू इट इन टुडेज टाइम्स, बट Is it possible that meeting did not take place? Call nahi answer kiya, leave that possibility, but meeting did not take place. Meeting took place, but negotiations could not materialize. In that case, do you understand that there is non-cooperation between the two governments? Because there is non-cooperation, so please notice there will be no DTAA between the two countries. There will be no treaty or convention between the two countries because they have not cooperated with each other, because they could not negotiate a deal with each other. Is it possible? In that case, what will happen, Priyanshu, is that if India and Italy in your case have a treaty, so together India and Italy ka government will do a treaty and give you relief according to the treaty. But in case there is no treaty between the two governments, so what will happen? Listen carefully. At the side of your brain, you need to have that example 30, 40, 70, 30, 40, 70. You know which 30, 40, 70 I am talking about? India is telling you, dear Priyanshu, look, that government is not cooperating with us. Because that government is not cooperating with us, we will not be able to give you any relief on the 40 wala tax which they are taking. You just have to pay that. But what is the tax that we are taking from you? 30. We can give you some benefit from that 30. That means both governments are not cooperating with each other. That means, Mitro, what? Both governments are not cooperating with each other. Only government of India has come forward to give you that relief. Now the screen is clearly visible. No? There is no distortion or anything. Whatever I have written. अपने आप ठीक हो गया, मैजिक हो गया. Okay, God is with us. Only because इतना small में I don't look handsome, no? एकदम proper देखोगे, then only you will like it, no? So listen. Only government of India has come forward. Understand the story, Priyanshu and everyone else in the class. Priyanshu is the example of the class today. Everyone in the class, please. Tax in India 30, tax in Italy 40. We are talking about juridical double taxation because relief is available only under juridical. If both governments do a treaty, together they will reduce by doing the treaty. But if both governments do not cooperate with each other, there will be no treaty between them. So can we control the tax which Italy is taking from you? No. So that 40 you will have to pay. But we can reduce something from your 30. That means only government of India comes forward to provide you relief. And therefore, because only one government is involved, we call it unilateral relief. In summary, when both governments cooperate with each other and together provide you relief, it will be bilateral relief. But when only government of India will come forward to provide you relief, it is going to be unilateral relief. एक बात बताओ क्या? Here both governments will reduce. So your total tax is 30 plus 40, 70. Together they will decide. Some time back I told you about the possibilities. Either your home country will leave tax, or the host country will leave tax, or possibly they will reduce the rate. Together they will do it. Here what is happening? What is happening here? 40 you will have to pay because we can't control that. Correct ke nahi? 40 you will have to pay. What is under control of government of India? 30. Government is saying that 40 you have to pay because Italy is not cooperating. From this 30, I can give you some relief if you want. From this 30, I am ready to give you some relief. मैं क्या बोलता हूं मित्रों? Observe carefully. If we give you some relief from 30, it is still a relief from 70. You have to agree with this. Yes or no? Relief from 30 is as good as reducing 70 only, no? But because only one government is involved, we will call it unilateral relief. That's the meaning of bilateral and unilateral. In comparative analysis, have we understood the meaning of unilateral and bilateral, everyone? Yes? So, obviously, how to finish the chapter, you know? Give the heading, bilateral relief. understand everything about bilateral relief. So concept will get over. See, till now we have understood only the meaning. Now full concept in detail. After concept gets over, second heading, unilateral relief and full concept in detail. Chapter over. Finished. So quick recap of what are we doing. We are now giving assessee relief. We have reached the stage where we are going to give relief. This relief is given from double taxation. And how does double taxation arise? Full chronology of the chapter. You can participate on audio, preferably little disturbance hoega to bhi chalega because there is no explanation. It's discussion. And if not, to at least move your lips. Those who are doing a favor on class by coming to class can go off to sleep. But those who are genuinely interested in knowledge and exams, please participate. Globally, there are two principles of levy of tax. First, the principle of residence. Second, the principle of source. The residence ka principle will be applied by the home country. The source ka principle will be applied by the host country. This will give rise to double taxation. Double taxation is of two types. Type 1, juridical double taxation. Type 2, economic double taxation. When the same person is taxed twice, same person, same income taxed twice, then it is juridical double taxation. But when the two tax liabilities are paid by two different people on the same income, then it is going to be economic. Economic is majorly in the nature of punishment, so no relief. Relief will be available only and only under juridical double taxation. Resident of one country, income in another country. Resident of one country, income in another country. So home country will apply principle of residence. Host country will apply principle of source, which is why juridical double taxation will arise, and therefore we will give relief. To give relief, there are two ways given in income tax. When both governments cooperate with each other, then it is going to be called bilateral. But when there is non-cooperation, so India has done 120 ke saath treaty, that means even today there are 80 countries with which India does not have treaty. Round figure. Correct hai? So in such cases, we will have to provide unilateral relief. So, treaty will be there in which cases? Bilateral ke unilateral? Bilateral. And if there is no treaty, means we will be following unilateral. When both governments cooperate with each other and do a treaty, so it will be bilateral. When there is non-cooperation and only government of India provides relief, it will be unilateral. I don't know whether you have realized, at least those who have participated, thank you so much. But do you know what? Whatever we have studied in the chapter till now, understanding ka aspect is one thing. We have also learned, memorized whatever we have studied. Think about it. And those who participated all through this are actually understanding what I am trying to say. Yes ke nahi mitro? Yes. Bilateral relief. Full concept in detail. Once we complete bilateral relief, then we go to the second part, that is unilateral relief. Bilateral relief ka concept. 1. Bi means both. Both governments cooperate with each other. And therefore, under bilateral ही तो there is going to be a treaty convention agreement. Double taxation avoidance agreement treaty convention will be under bilateral only. No, unilateral mein it won't be there only. Yes or no? First 3 points of bilateral. Khatam. Some are wondering, sir, why are you in such a hurry to finish the portion? You wrote 3 points and you are not explaining anything about that, sir. You want to complete the portion ekdam bhaga ke fatafat so that you can start another batch. पैसा ही पैसा होगा, like फिर हेरा फेरी कुछ नहीं है. CA coaching में I'll tell you honestly, nothing is remaining. Okay, CA coaching has reached that level where the only thing left now to do is learn from me, I will pay you. That's the only thing remaining. Free coaching तक तो lot of places हो गया है. Take free coaching, pay 2,000 rupees and 6 months का subscription बेच हो गया. Netflix चल रहा है कि CA coaching we don't know. Pay 2,000 6 months unlimited subscription. You can watch unlimited times and all that. अभी the only thing remaining is learn from me and I will pay you. वही बचा है अभी. Okay? तो sir, in that case, anyways, extra batch after batch लेके there is no value addition. Value addition real is if take limited number of batches, take limited number of students, charge a premium, those who are willing to pay will pay, those who don't want to pay will find out alternate sources, but give the best quality. Quality ऐसा होना चाहिए, that should be absolutely no compromise. Six Sigma का concept is not just to learn in costing, it is to follow in life also. Kaizen का concept is to follow in life. Pareto analysis, follow in life. तुम लोग सीए का स्टूडेंट, फॉलो ओनली जस्ट इन टाइम. सर ड्यू डेट कभी है वो बोलो बस. जस्ट इन टाइम का कॉन्सेप्ट है. हाँ छोड़ो. वाई एम आई नॉट एक्सप्लेनिंग दीज 3 points? वाई एम आई भगाइंग. ये पागल लोग, वेक अप फ्रॉम योर स्लीप. ये यही है जो लोग अभी टिल नाउ, इफ यू हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड, नो, इट इज दिस ओनली. समझा क्या? Now we will go ahead. We have understood the meaning of bilateral with the help of these 3 points. Both governments cooperate with each other. अब क्या? Now that there is an agreement between the two countries, therefore D point होएगा because ABC are over. Therefore, there is going to be calculation of relief. It means 30 in India, 40 in Italy. We have to reduce that 70. From now till the end of this chapter, I have a humble request. All throughout the chapter, at the side of your brain, side of your brain, कोने में, मुंबई में what do we say? कोपचे में, मराठी मध्ये कोपऱ्यात. At the side of your brain, keep this example 30, 40, 70. Every time I say 30, 40, 70, 30, 40, 70, you should not be giving me blank looks. क्या बोल रहा है? नहीं. What am I talking about? Will you be clear about what I am talking once I am talking about 30, 40, 70? मित्रों? Yes? Our objective is to reduce that 70 to a lower number. So there is going to be a calculation. But the catch here is, this calculation is different in every DTAA in the world. Only Indian angle se we can say there are 120 treaties. See, India has done 120 treaties. But then, similarly, China must have done so many treaties. There are thousands of treaties in the world. Every country will try to have a treaty with every other country. Yes, we are learning the India ka income tax law, so our focus will be on 120 treaties. But those 120 treaties are also different from each other. They are not a word to word copy of each other. The calculation will be different for everyone. अरे आप समझते हो what I am saying? It can't be same. You cannot have one common rule that full world में home country will get tax and host will leave. कि full world में host will get and home will leave. There cannot be one fixed rule. You have to negotiate a treaty. This is going to also teach you how to deal in business post qualification also. You have to negotiate. I am telling you, you clear CA, you'll get job offers. Ridiculous salary they will offer you. You'll be told that we are giving starting salary 30,000 rupees. Some of you all are wondering, bro, हम लोग Big 4 का article है, already we are earning 30. हाँ ना हितवी? Insult मत कर मेरा. But there will be some organization which will offer you 30. You have to negotiate. You know what they will say? That we follow this with everyone. Newcomers ka fix and new CA ka this is fix. Be ready with your counter answer. I am giving you that today. Sir, it does not work like that. Business does not work like that. You may have a fixed policy for everyone, but I am not just everyone. For that you need to have something in you different from others. Coaching organizations मेरे को बोलता है, this is our rule for everyone. This is our system. This is our protocol. मैं बोला boss, agreed. But I am not just everyone. I have my own set of terms and conditions. Wherever I am, it is because of my 12 years ka hard work. No one was there to support me. And now today I work on my terms. Wherever I go. हाँ, तो बिफोर यू कीप दैट कंडीशन इन योर इंटरव्यू, पहले यू हैव दैट समथिंग डिफरेंट in you. If there are 10,000 people who become CAs with you, then what is different in you? You should know your core. इसको core competence बोलता है business में. Core competence. What makes you different from the others? समझा क्या? तो you have to negotiate. I am again giving you an actual situation. अभी जैसा मैंने आपको बोला, when it comes to negotiation, sometimes the negotiations fail. I'll give you actual situation. DTAA को साइड में रख के real life में every concept of tax should be associated with our life. So we will be able to understand the concept here. तो understand करने का कोशिश करो please. I work with multiple organizations. Some are in Mumbai where I take physical lectures. Some are in Mumbai where I take online lectures with them. Some are outstation. See, from 2017 I have been traveling to Ahmedabad. I have been traveling to Kochi in Kerala. I have taken a couple of batches in a city called Guntur in Andhra Pradesh. I wonder if anybody is aware also. It does not have any airport or anything. Airport is also Vijayawada, which is 2 hours away from Guntur. I have taken, but it's a hub of CA students in Andhra Pradesh. The entire state of Andhra Pradesh ka CA students come and study in Guntur. Just like engineering ka people go in Kota, no? Guntur is the quota of CA students, I am telling you. I have taken physical batches in Guntur also. My terms with everyone is different. Mumbai ka coaching classes pay a lump sum amount. All expenses you have to take care of. अब लालबाग से मुलुंड if I am traveling, every day का it is at least 700 to 800 rupees का only petrol का cost, to and fro का trip का, तो 70 trips का it is almost 50-60,000 plus study material का cost. That all that cost has to be borne by me. But of course the payment is a very, very high payment. But if I go to any of the outstation assignment, like I traveled to Ahmedabad for 5 years, I traveled to Kerala for 5 years, these places, the condition was that the moment I step out of my house, every rupee that I incur is your responsibility. Every rupee of my travel, every rupee of my food, everything. Kerala I used to go by air, and Ahmedabad I used to take my own car because locally that transport is very difficult. Especially 6:30 in the morning. Kerala बोल रहा है, अहमदाबाद का रिक्शा वालाज आर वर्स देन मुंबई का रिक्शा वालाज, टैक्सी वालाज. Means it is possible that Deepika ji will say yes I will marry you, but a rickshaw wala will say yes I will take you is very difficult. Seriously I am telling you. So I told them that I don't like to be late in class. This is the 4th lecture. You all have already seen what time I start my class. And I am never going to be late to class. I will bring my own car. They started paying me for the fuel. But of course, as my son is growing up, now I don't like to be away for 15-20 days. So I told them that my contract period is over, 5 years I will not come. I have stopped traveling to other cities now. And I have enough workload in Mumbai itself. I don't need to. And now whoever outstation ka student wants to join, they do join. With Zoom being a part and physical classrooms ke andar bhi, there is a camera installed. Full system is installed. So wherever there is a physical classroom, it is always accompanied by a live classroom. Whoever wants to join. We have today apna class ke andar, I have a student from Kerala, I have a student from Andhra, I have a couple of students from Navi Mumbai. Whoever wants to join, they do join. सबके साथ टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस आर डिफरेंट. सबके साथ. एट माई लेवल, इफ टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस आर डिफरेंट, आउटस्टेशन का पीपल आर गिविंग मी ऑल द एक्सपेंसेस बट लेस पेमेंट फॉर टीचिंग. मुंबई का ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आर गिविंग मोर पेमेंट फॉर टीचिंग बट नो एक्सपेंसेस आई हैव टू बेयर. आर द टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस डिफरेंट विद एवरीवन? तो हाउ कैन देयर बी वन कॉमन रूल फॉर ट्रीटीज अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड? मतलब यू आर ट्राइंग टू से कि मोदी जी इज टॉकिंग टू पुतिन, बाइडन, जेसिंडा, एनी अदर वर्ल्ड लीडर, सबके साथ कॉमन रूल. होम कंट्री विल लीव टैक्स के होस्ट कंट्री विल लीव टैक्स. इट कैन नॉट वर्क दैट वे. यू एग्री विद दैट? एवरी ट्रीटी विल हैव अ डिफरेंट कैलकुलेशन. एवरी ट्रीटी विल हैव अ डिफरेंट कैलकुलेशन. So if you want to become an expert in treaties, मेरी बात listen to me with very, very careful attention. If you want to become an expert in treaties, you will have to go and read those 120 treaties. Then you can say that I have become perfect in treaties. But that also India ka treaties. You understood what I said in point D. Every calculation is different. To give you now a practical example on this. One of my past students, he was a November 18 ka attempt ka student, Farzan karke. He got exemption in direct tax. He became a chartered accountant. He is busy in his life. I am busy in my life. One day I got a call from him. Bola, sir, Farzan here. Mostly past students ka numbers are saved in my phone with their attempt. And the moment I see the name, I can identify, okay, this is this batch ka this student. Irrespective of what batch size I have taught, once I know the name of a student, then I never forget. हाँ, कभी कभी ये प्रॉब्लम होता है, जैसे फिजिकल क्लासरूम के अंदर आई कांट गो एंड आस्क द नेम्स ऑफ एवरीवन, आई जस्ट नो द फेसेस. एंड ऑनलाइन क्लास के अंदर ऑफ कोर्स यू नो द नेम्स, एंड विथ वीडियो ऑन का रूल यू नो द फेसेस ऑल्सो. नहीं तो पता होता हु आई एम टीचिंग एंड हु इज एक्चुअली अटेंडिंग, यू वुड नेवर रियलाइज. तो ऑनलाइन में आई नो द नेम्स एंड द फेसेस बोथ ऑफ कोर्स. तो फरजान बोला कि सर आई हैव सम वर्क. में बोला बोला सर आई हैव अ फ्रेंड हु वांट्स टू डू टैक्स रिटर्न फाइलिंग. And the moment, because I cleared CA, he asked me, I think that you are the best person in my mind who can do my tax return filing or anybody's tax return filing. I can't suggest or recommend anyone else. So, would you be interested because you are majorly busy with the teaching assignments? I said, bro, you know, no, madam is also a CA. Practice ka kaam madam will handle. I don't have time. But she will do it. Student is bringing some client and not asking for any commission also. So best hai na. I just have to do the work of the client and get my fees. After I got details of the assessee, I came to know that the assessee is an American, matlab person of Indian origin, parents were Indian, but assessee is American, a director in Netflix. He directs shows for Netflix and comes to India for certain days every year, directs the shows and goes back to America. And he got paid for those shows as a director. And uska tax return filing, he had some massive TDS. His interest was only that, sir, get my return filed. I said that I will get your money also refunded. Abhi you don't ask how. I am not here to give you tax planning ka strategy. I said getting the refund is my responsibility. If this full money comes refund, this is my fees. Otherwise only for doing work, this is my fees. This is lower. If you don't want refund, then I am ready to take this lower. Bola, nahi sir, obviously I want refund. Then pay me the higher fees. And refund kya tha bro? Director tha, I just had to give him presumptive taxation of 44 ADA. Uske andar his tax liability was coming to almost zero. Little nominal amount was there. And baki upar ka amount full, he had got some 25 lakh ka payment. And usme 2.5 lakh ka TDS as professional fees, 2,50,000 was deducted. Major amount of his TDS, I could get the refund by all my calculations and planning. And he gave me a good amount of fees. But because he was American, a resident of that country, before I committed him anything, I had to actually read India-US treaty. Now please listen. All this comes in our discussion daily. I have been doing this since years now. My black hair has turned grey. अभी वीडियो में दिखता नहीं होगा, नजदीक से यूं ना साइड में, it has turned grey now. मतलब ऐसा बोलते हैं white हो गया white, but in pure English we say grey hair, graying of hair, मतलब बराबर है. हाँ, white बाल मतलब हिंदी में. ये करते करते life has gone. If you wake me up in the middle of the night and रात को 2 बजे you tell me no, okay, start talking about double taxation relief, I can start and continuously I can talk without break. But India-US treaty is not something that I work on a daily basis. So it is not possible that it is memorized. I had to read the treaty and accordingly I did his work. The moment I did his work effectively, he was very, very impressed. He recommended one of his other friends. Well, sir, one of my friends also wants to get the work. Will you do her work also? कैसा question पूछता है लोग? मतलब somebody is bringing client and asking, will you do? I am a professional to do that work only, no? But ठीक है, bring it on baby, I'll do that work. पता चला she was an actress in Netflix and he was the director who used to direct her in the shows. तो उसके लिए अगेन I went through the India-US treaty to check if there is no additional provision applicable to her. ऐसा करते करते chain after chain I get clients of US. Do you understand? Again and again I will have to read India-US treaty. One day I become perfect in India-US treaty, just like I know the entire income tax act by heart. One day I become perfect with that also. Every clause of India-US treaty by heart ho gaya, someday in life. And then Priyanshu comes to me, sir, my relief. Do you realize that my knowledge of the entire India-US treaty is going to go down the gutter? Because in the case of Priyanshu, I cannot apply India-US treaty. I will have to check if there is any India-Italy treaty. Priyanshu was not from US ka income, he was Italy ka income. That is what I am trying to make you understand with this point that I have written here, Mitro. That the calculation of every DTAA is different. You can't apply that knowledge to this knowledge, and India has done approximately 120 treaties. Have you understood the point? Congratulations and celebrations. It is not a part of your portion, bro. And how can it be a part of your portion? Can it be a part of your portion? Think about it. Think about it. 120 treaties. If they keep it in your portion, तो क्या होगा मालूम है? CA final, Group 1, 4 papers. Group 2, 4 papers. Direct tax, Group 3, some 5-6 papers. Our income tax act, which is a part of our syllabus, just doesn't seem to get over. Sometimes ऐसा लगता है कि I will get over one day, income tax will not get over. It's a never ending law. The vast nature of income tax ka syllabus is the toughest part of direct tax. The reason why students lose mark in direct tax, the main reason is the vast nature. First chapter ka tax rates are related with last chapter ka calculation, deductions ka chapter. Because they are related with each other. Unless you remember tax rates when we do deductions, so deductions ke chapter mein you will not get marks. That is why people lose marks. And which is why I always say, if you revise every day, you will be scoring better in DT than anybody else in the country. Because, sir, is direct tax a difficult subject? Bro, it depends on who you learn it from. And how to make DT easy, that I have done all my life. That you would have never thought, Priyanshu, kal tak socha bhi nahi tha that today I am going to become popular across the country. Socha, I imagine, Priyanshu, this video is going to be used by people for the next 1 year. People are going to buy these video lectures. Because relevant till November 23. He is wondering, sir, आपके recording में मेरा face भी डाल दो ना थोड़ा सा. You would have never thought के your honeymoon can become juridical double taxation का example for us. मैं picnic बोला था लेकिन actually it is honeymoon. Listen, you would have never thought this. Direct tax can be made easy. That is very much possible. Difficulty itna hai, vast nature. You have to remember everything at all times. I hope you are understanding what I am saying. Correct? So, the treaties are not a part of our portion. You do not have to learn any actual treaty. Surprisingly, when they brought elective paper international tax, it was a specialization wala paper. So, expectation was this, that they might keep some important treaties. Neighboring countries ka like China ka, because there is a lot of trade. Yeah, some big countries like US, UK. Aisa koi countries ka treaties they might keep. But they have not kept any treaty in elective also. Surprisingly. So basically, a bilateral relief is a place where both countries together do a treaty. And the calculation is given in the treaty. It is different in every treaty. You have to go and read that individual particular treaty. But that is not a part of our portion. So sir, is bilateral ka concept over and shall we move to unilateral? No bro. There are still some common points in bilateral treaties. India has 120 treaties. Calculation is different. We have understood that. Calculation in all those treaties is different. Understood? But there are still some common points, no? We are going to learn the common points of all the treaties under bilateral relief, and then we can get done with bilateral and slowly move to unilateral. Okay? What are the common points? Every DTAA in the world, agreement is also known as treaty and convention. Every DTAA is the calculation of relief zero. Sometimes 30 will become 0. Sometimes the 40 will become 0. Sometimes both countries will reduce. Is the calculation different? But the point is, there will be some relief. Now, whatever be the calculation, but there will be some relief. Do you agree with that? Every DTAA will give you some calculation of relief. Every DTAA will give you some calculation of relief. Yes or no? What is the exact calculation? Mitro, in my client's ka case, I went and read India-US treaty. So in Priyanshu ka case, you will have to go and read India-Italy ka treaty. Some other guy, Vaibhav, wanted to go to New Zealand. So Vaibhav ke case mein, you have to go and read India-New Zealand ka treaty. Whichever country is involved, we have to go and read that treaty of India. Calculation may be different, but there will be some relief, no? That's a common point. We are here to learn the common points across these 120 treaties that India has done. Every treaty will contain 1. Calculation of relief. 2. Every treaty will contain something called exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. Exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. Right now, everything on the tab is clearly visible, no? The writing part. In case there is any technical issue, again in the ongoing class, no? In the flow of the class, I may not realize. Because while I am writing on my tab, there is no problem. It is in the screen that it is coming. Immediately message me or tell me if there is a problem, so that I can rectify it. Okay? Exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. Acha, by the way, if I have to tell you ekdam strong English, no? English. Exchange of information and assistance in collection of fair and legitimate tax. English. Fair and legitimate. Arey bhai, tax collection. Chodna yaar. Exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. Sir, what is this? Sir, have you understood that every DTAA will provide for relief? It is for the benefit of the assessee who has suffered double tax. It was for the benefit of Priyanshu, yes or no? But while the government is taking trouble to sit across a table with the other government for your benefit, something they will keep for themselves also. This part is for the benefit of the government. We will exchange with each other. If your people have made any investment in our country or our people have made any investment in your country, then give us information. Give us all that information. Is it possible that India ka people who have evaded taxes have invested in assets abroad? Give us information. Help us in auctioning those assets and recovery of taxes. Assistance in tax collection. Example se samjhata hu. Example se. Okay. When Jaitley ji became the finance minister, no, 2014, those of you all who follow little politics must be aware of this. Jaitley ji first of all lost elections. 2014 में लोकसभा का election he lost, but he was a very senior leader. He was senior in comparison with Modi ji also. He was a minister in Atal Bihari Vajpayee government. So he had to be given a ministry because Modi ji gave a ministry to Smriti Irani also, who is a good friend of Modi ji. He gave a ministry to her, so he had to give a ministry to Jaitley ji. Jaitley ji was given defense and finance both. Then Goa ka CM Mr. Manohar Parrikar, who is no more now, was made defense minister. That was the time when that Uri-ka attack happened and that Uri-ka movie was made. In that defense minister was Mr. Manohar Parrikar, Goa ka chief minister. But the kind of place Goa is, everyone wants to go to Goa. Okay. So Parrikar sir was like, no Modi ji, I want to go back to Goa. He was sent back to Goa. And then auntie was made defense minister when Jaitley ji continued to be the finance minister. And when Jaitley ji was unwell, for some time Piyush Goyal sir was made finance minister. So it gave the country hopes that CA will handle finance. Country is in good hands. So let's elect these people again. And after they got elected again, auntie was made finance minister. Finance ka satyanash was done. Sarvanash. Nihal, Durantam. Nihal, I'll speak Malayali. Mansalayo. दुरंतम मतलब डिजास्टर को ना मलयालम में ना दुरंतम बोलते. फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ अवर कंट्री इज दुरंतम, डिजास्टर. ये था स्टोरी. व्हेन जेटली जी वाज फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ना, ही यूज्ड टू शेयर all his plans with one of his friends. And coincidentally, that friend of Jaitley ji is also a very good friend of my father-in-law. So there is a common friend. That guy is good friends with Jaitley ji and good friends with my father-in-law. So whenever Jaitley ji had any plan, he used to tell this friend. Friend used to tell my father-in-law, and father-in-law used to tell me. Anything my father-in-law comes to know, he always shares with me. Because in his house, just like me, no one listens to him also. So we basically end up talking, sharing our sorrows with each other because both of us have similar sorrows. He used to share all the plans. तो अब communication का channel समझ लो. Jaitley ji told his friend, friend told my father-in-law, father-in-law told me, I am telling you. Jaitley ji says, very soon I will bring a system in India where if you are sitting at a foreign restaurant and you are paying for a $10 ka coffee, the moment you make payment, our government will get real-time live notification. Real-time, immediate notification. ऐसा नहीं है कि we will wait for the year to get over, then we will send a request, then info will come. It is like your mobile data. The moment you put it on, ting, 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 like notification government of India will get. मतलब imagine करो foreign के restaurant में you pay $10 कॉफी का, गवर्नमेंट विल कम टू नो. प्रियंशु ने $10 का कॉफी लिया, देन थोड़ी देर बाद $10-12 का बर्गर लिया. ऐसा लाइव नोटिफिकेशन विल कम. एंड वी वर लाफिंग. क्या जेटली जी कुछ भी बोलते हैं. रबिश जेटली जी, रबिश. इन माई हाउस व्हाट आई डू, इवन माई पेरेंट्स डोंट नो. सम कैन रिलेट टू दिस सो वेल. बोला हाँ सर ये वाला मेरे साथ हुआ है. Even my parents don't know what I do in my house. Huh? Someday if your parents do a surprise check of your cupboard, you know, no, that is your last day in your house. This has happened with all of us once in our life. Correct है क्या नहीं? तो what I am doing, even my parents don't know. Foreign country में I will go and buy a $10 का coffee. Jaitley ji will come to know. What a joke. It was a joke at that time. But the process has started. Not fully implemented, but the process has started. Every PAN card has to be linked with Aadhaar, otherwise PAN will be inoperative. And every Aadhaar is linked with a passport. Now if you want to go for passport, Aadhaar is the first document. So Excel fans, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, connection देखो. From passport to Aadhaar, from Aadhaar to PAN. And Modi ji is going around the world doing making friends. Itna hi bol ke, if an Indian is spending anything, give us passport number. From that passport number, we will find out Aadhaar, PAN, everything. And then we will ask, Priyanshu, how do you manage this? Foreign mein you pay $10-12 ka coffee, and India mein you are showing income below the basic exemption limit. You go to a foreign trip, spend 10 lakh rupees, and in India you show income below the basic exemption limit. ऐसा कैसे? What kind of ठग है? वैसे we in the Marwadi community have this special talent. We spend crores of rupees in children ka wedding, but we still show income below the basic exemption limit. We have a special talent in doing this. But now government is keeping a watch. You have no bloody idea. Big Daddy is watching you from all sides. All your financial transactions, they are keeping track. So if you do any such a transaction in a foreign country, that government will first share your information. Please listen. And after that, what will happen? It will also help in tax collection. Is it possible that you are a tax evader in India and you have got property outside India? Whenever you have property in India, there is a provision in income tax. One day I will teach you that provision. Whenever you have property in India, so the government can send someone called a TRO, Tax Recovery Officer. TRO matlab Tax Recovery Officer. He is the Vasuli Bhai of Income Tax Department. Recovery agent, Vasuli Bhai. If you don't pay your taxes, if you mitro don't pay your taxes, so your assessing officer will send someone called a TRO. Your TRO will come and take away your movable properties for recovery of taxes. इसके ऊपर there is a special chapter है recovery proceedings, chapter number 31 in our index, recovery proceedings. He will take away your movable properties. He will take away your immovable properties. And if you are number one bhuka nanga garib, no, he will take you away. That means he has the power to arrest. And he will conduct an auction. Because whatever properties he has taken away, obviously the idea is to recover the taxes, no? ऐसा नहीं कि every day morning your immovable property का every morning he will do agarbatti. Why has he taken your property? So that he can auction and recover the taxes. He will auction your properties, he will not auction you. He won't get anything, by the way. So listen, these are the powers of the recovery agents of income tax department. But problem क्या है? Assessee has evaded taxes in India and has got property outside India. Now, is that possible? Our recovery agents cannot take away your properties outside India. They have control only in India. So we will request that government, sir, please. Our chore assessee has property in your country. Example, UK, London. India ka sab chores have properties in London. All chores of India have property in London. So we will request UK ka government, please help us to recover this tax. Mitro, are you following? That is called assistance in tax collection. When the two governments are taking trouble to take each other's time on phone, sit across a table and negotiate a treaty to give you relief, are you getting benefit the moment the treaty is done? So government will keep some benefit for itself also, no? This will be the benefit to the government for doing treaty. So every treaty ka calculation is different, but we are learning common points under bilateral. What are the common points? There will be two things that you will find in every treaty across the world. Every treaty across the world, you will find two things. What two things? One, you will get something called relief. Two, you will get something called exchange of information and assistance in tax collection. This is for the benefit of the assessee and this is for the benefit of the government. Is that understood? And similarly, there are some more common points of bilateral treaties. We will learn the common points, finish bilateral and go to unilateral. Correct? Hai? Next common point. For giving relief, will every treaty have relief? Calculation may be different, but will there be relief? There are globally two methods of providing relief. Two methods of providing relief. First, there is something called a tax credit method. Second, there is something called a tax exemption method. Two methods of providing relief to the world: tax credit method and tax exemption method. I'll write the meanings of both under them. Automatically you will understand, and we'll be doing examples also. So perfectly you will understand. Every treaty ka calculation is different, but it will have relief and exchange of information. Relief and exchange of information. To give that relief, there are two possible methods. Tax credit method, tax exemption method. Are you with me? What is tax credit method? Both governments will charge a tax. Matlab Priyanshu, India will also take tax from you and Italy will also take tax from you. Both will take tax. But one will give credit of the tax that you have paid in other. Both governments will take tax, but one will give you credit of the tax that you have paid in other. Sir, क्या बोल रहा है? Examples. Example. I am going to continue my India-Italy ka example. What was the tax in India? 30. Tax in Italy? 40. Supposingly, Italy gives credit. तो क्या होगा? In India, you have to pay your full liability 30. You all remember 30, 40, 70, no? In Italy, your liability is 40, but it is decided that Italy is going to give you credit. अरे स्क्रीन का वापस प्रॉब्लम हुआ ना, I'll छोड़. Example 1. This is visible, no? Italy gives credit. Okay. In India, you have to pay your full 30. In Italy, now be with me please. What was your liability, by the way, as per Italian tax laws? 40. But it is decided that Italy is going to give you credit of the tax that you have paid in India. So what is the tax that you have paid in India? Italy will give you that credit and accordingly you will pay only 10. Now read what we have written as meaning. Are both governments taking tax from you? Yes. But one of them is giving you credit of the tax that you have paid in the other. Yes. It appears that you are paying tax in both countries, but my dear students, is your 70 still becoming a lower number 40? You are still in a better position than before this? That's your tax credit method. When both are taking, but one will give you credit of the tax that you have paid in the other. If I change my example, what if, see, the other way around is also possible. Not Italy, but India is giving credit. Very much possible. In that case, this time you will have to pay your full Italian tax liability of 40. Because this time Italy will take full tax. Who is going to give you credit? India. In India, what's your liability, by the way? 30. But has it been decided that India is going to give you credit? So India will give you credit of the tax paid in the other country. By the way, what is the tax paid in the other country? 40. But use your brain and understand. Use your brain. You think that India ki government will give you credit of 40, means give you 10 ka refund. Matlab imagine, I will pay 40 in Italy and India ka AO you give me 10. Arey, India ka AO will say, bro, listen, you want credit from me, no? Do one thing, don't pay anything to me. Okay? Don't pay anything. Full Indian tax liability take as credit. But you can't take 40 ka credit and tell your AO to pay you 10. So maximum 30 and accordingly your liability in India will be 0. So under the tax credit method, see, this is the meaning of tax credit method, and these are the two examples of tax credit method. Are both governments charging tax? Yes, but one of them is giving you credit of the tax that you have paid in the other country. Are you able to understand this? Because if you have understood the tax credit method, I have an important question which is not very easy. You will have to think, and I need someone in the class to unmute and answer this. Okay? First understand the question, then think and answer. I have given you two examples. If Italy gave credit, this is the calculation. If India gives credit, this is the calculation. That means, have I taken care of both possibilities? But ultimately, both of them were examples. In real life, actual circumstance, who will give credit, India or Italy? Example mein I have taken care of both. But actual mein who will give credit, India or Italy? That is my question. Who will give credit, India or Italy? That is, my dear students, my question. Who will give credit? Example mein we have taken both, but real life mein who will give credit? Reason though? Therefore India. Okay. Same thing, Harshit. Most people are saying India, India, India. Anybody else? Any other answer? Everyone is saying India. Afrid, India. Anyone else? No one says Italy. So you mean to say that India is applying residence, the country in which you earn, over there you should pay. So India only has to give credit. Wrong answer. So you all are thinking, acha sir, Italy? Wrong answer. Sir, India also wrong. Sir, Italy also wrong. So what exactly is right? One of the two Prathameshes in class has given the answer in the chat box. Prathamesh Khade. Prathamesh, unmute करके बोलेगा क्या? Depends on the, thank you very much. Depends on the treaty. Mitro, the treaty will say home country will give credit. The treaty will say host country will give credit. And finally it will apply to both sides. So Indian going to Italy or Italian coming to India, then it will be applied on both cases. But who will give credit? You have to go and read treaty. There may be one treaty, India, Italy, where home country gives credit. But in India, England, it may be host country gives credit. Mitro, understood? These were examples. Real life mein you will have to go and read treaty. The actual treaty is not in our syllabus, but we are learning the common points of the treaties. Mitro, understood? So, is tax credit method clear? Both countries will take tax. One will give you credit. Who will give credit? Go and read the treaty. Chaliye. Let's go to tax exemption method. Very easy. These are ridiculously easy. One government charges tax. Matlab one of them will take tax from you. And other government does not charge tax. Matlab other government will make you not pay any tax. Exempt. One will take, other will not take. One government will take tax, other will not take tax. This is so even easier. One will take tax, other will not take. You understand? This is even easier. Sir, example? Sir, example 1. Supposingly, Italy exempts you. So, very easy. Come to India, pay 30, Khatam, no need to do anything in Italy. Italy has granted you exemption. Mitro. And likewise, this second possibility. You will give me the example and you will give me the answer. Only if you give the possibility and you give the answer, we conclude that you all are also understanding the things that are happening in class. Very difficult to handle an online class. In a physical classroom, You don't take me seriously, 2 tight slaps I can give you there only. But in an online classroom, all I can slap is my own laptop, which does not make sense. So please create the example and participate in the class. Make the class attractive enough that you feel that array yaar, to physical classroom. Yes, one of them has already typed in the chat box. What is the situation? Situation 2, India exams. So what will we do? Just go to Italy, pay 40, khatam. Finish. So when both take tax and one gives you credit, that is tax credit method, and when one takes and the other does not take at all, that is tax exemption method. Now I have 2 more questions. First, with respect to this, I have given you 2 situations, Italy exempts and India exempts. These were examples. Actual real life mein who will exempt? Come on. Depends on treaty. Very good. That means the same thing that you learned here. These were examples, depend on treaty. Last question. You all have understood both methods, tax credit, tax exemption. You are getting some tax benefit in both. This was explanation of tax credit method. This was explanation of tax exemption method. Question ye hai, in real life, which of the 2 methods will be followed? Because what we said was, for relief, there are 2 methods worldwide. Some countries follow tax credit method, some follow tax exemption. In our case, which one we will follow? Come on. That will also depend on the treaty. So which method to follow? Treaty will tell us. Under tax credit, who will give credit, or tax exemption, who will give exemption? We will have to follow the treaty. Everything has to be done according to what is given in the treaty. Clear hai? Mitro? Everyone? So, we are under bilateral relief where we are learning common points of the treaty. Every treaty will have different calculation, but what are the common points? Every treaty will have relief. Every treaty will have exchange of information. There are 2 ways of providing relief. Are we clear about both methods? We'll continue with the common points. There are some more common points which are given here. All these common points we will finish, and then we get done with bilateral, and gradually we can move to unilateral. The provisions of double taxation avoidance agreement are optional. Matlab, in other words, you want to pay tax as per Income Tax Act, or you want to pay tax as per DTAA. You have option. You can pay tax as per DTAA, or you can pay tax as per Income Tax Act. Any one of them. DTAA is not compulsory. It is optional. DTAA is not compulsory. It is optional. Whenever we have an option between 2 things in taxation, which one do we choose? Obviously, wherever we are getting higher tax, because CAs are partners in nation building, so make the client pay more. Nahin? Whenever we have an option, we have done old regime, new regime ka tax rates, no? Whenever we have an option, so what will we do? Can I say we will follow whichever is beneficial? And that means beneficial means whichever is lower. In other words, we will make our client pay tax as per DTAA or as per Income Tax Act. Out of the 2, whichever is lower. Out of the 2, whichever is beneficial. Sir, very easy to understand. Act or DTAA, whichever is lower. Act or DTAA, whichever is beneficial. Understanding this point G doesn't require any talent. Just that DTAA is not compulsory, it is optional. So if it is beneficial for me, I will take it, otherwise no. But a good student should get this doubt. See if you get it. Sir, how can this be beneficial? अब doubt समझा? Do you understand the doubt? I am saying this or this, whichever is beneficial. That point we have understood, sir. But our doubt is, how can this be beneficial? The whole reason why we did DTAA means it will provide for some relief. And if our DTAA is providing for some relief, then how can our act be beneficial? You understand the question which a good student should ask? I repeat, understanding point G is not difficult. What is difficult? Sir, how can act be beneficial? If I give you an example and prove it to you, you will be convinced that DTAA can be beneficial or act can also be beneficial. Chal, let me give you an example. Supposingly, Harshit is earning income in a foreign country, 5 crore rupees. Harshit कितना? Foreign country? 5 crore. You should be proud of me ना सर, आपके जैसे टीचर हमको रोज मिले. घर बैठे बैठे अर्ली मॉर्निंग यू आर मेकिंग मी करोड़पति. इतना इजी तो इवन बच्चन सर इज नॉट मेकिंग पीपल करोड़पति. 5 करोड़ बोलने में क्या जाता है? 5 crore rupees. Harshit, India is your home country, so it will take tax and you understand you are definitely going to fall in 30% bracket. क्योंकि after 10 lakh or new regime after 15 lakh, 30% is applicable everyone. And this income will also be taxed in that foreign country where you have the source. So Harshit, are you a case of juridical double taxation? Not just double taxation, but juridical double taxation. Yes, because same person, same income. India residence and foreign country source. Yes. Because of double taxation, the two governments did a treaty. And according to that treaty, India ki government is saying that we will take only 5% from you. Matlab as per act, you will go in 30%. But as per treaty, you will go in 5%. So tell me which of the two is beneficial to pay on your 5 crore ka income, 5 crore ka foreign income, Harshit? 5% is better. So will we pay tax as per DTAA? Yes or no? So students are saying, sir, that is precisely our question. DTAA has been enacted for what purpose? For reducing my tax rate. So sir, this will always be beneficial. Sir, you cancel your point G. Sir, we feel DTAA will be always beneficial because it was created only for relief. No. Now listen, Harshit and everyone else. Khade I will prove that sometimes this can be better. Are you with me? Harshit, what was your foreign income in my example that I just now gave you? 5 crore rupees. You are not upset, no sir. मेरे को खाली पैसा दिलाया, प्रियांशु को तो हनीमून पे भेजा, मेरे को खाली पैसा दिलाया, ऐसा कोई. You're not upset about that, no? If I were in your place, I would be happy with 5 crore more than the honeymoon wala part. I think it is the same with you also. Point ये है Harshit, your income may not be 5 crore and it may possibly only be 2 lakh rupees in the foreign country. Do you have the brain to understand what I am saying? Example 2, Harshit, foreign income is not 5 crore. Foreign income is not 5 crore. It is only 2 lakh. Do you know what is going to be your tax as per this? Bol na Harshit. Bolo na, anyone in the class. Tell me no. If 2 lakh is your only income, so as per normal tax, and if you don't understand, then let me only tell you, your tax will be 0. How? Why? Below the basic exemption limit, Harshit. But DTAA has written a blanket percentage, flat percentage, 5. So on 2 lakh, if you pay as per normal rules, normal rates, it is below the basic exemption limit and therefore no tax. But as per DTAA, you still have 5%. Now have I proved that normal rates can become better for you? Come on. To khatam. You pay as per normal rates or you pay as per DTAA. Out of the two, whichever is beneficial. Khatam hai, everyone understood? I repeat, understanding point G was never difficult. Option matlab whichever is beneficial. And some people तो did not get the question. हाँ sir, optional है, understood. आगे चलो. But did you get the question, sir? How can normal be beneficial? DTAA is for tax reduction. Yes, if you are below basic exemption. So for company and firm, normal will never be beneficial because they have flat tax. But for individual HUF who have slabs, normal can sometimes be beneficial. Question ये है, if normal is beneficial, can we take it? Yes, because DTAA is, mitro, DTAA is optional. Is the point now clear to everyone? Absolutely. Next, we have hardly 3-4 points remaining under bilateral relief, and once these 3-4 points are done, bilateral over. I hope you have not forgotten. Next step will be to give the heading unilateral and complete it. And chapter will get over. Bilateral. Next point. Till now what was happening? DTAA was being done by two governments. Government of India, Government of Italy, like that. Now we will also allow, if there is any agreement between a specified association which is in India, will be allowed to do an agreement with a specified association outside India. There can also be agreements between specified associations instead of government. This has got nothing to do with taxation. Why does it even exist in section 90? I am surprised. Nothing to do with taxation. Okay. What exactly is this? Supposingly you clear CA exams conducted by ICAI, and then you want to pursue any of the foreign courses. You want to pursue US CMA or UK CMA. You want to pursue CPA, Certified Public Accountant, American course conducted by AICP, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. You want to do ACCA, especially South ka students, especially Kerala ka students are majorly these days inclined towards ACCA because ACCA ka huge demand in Gulf countries. And the life of a person from Kerala, Malayali is that take education in India and then earn money from Gulf and bring that money and settle in Kerala. Malayalis don't prefer to earn income anywhere in India. And in fact not even in Kerala. They always prefer to earn income from, you go to any of these restaurants, Gulf countries, no, you'll go, no, Gulf countries. You go to Singapore, you go to Malaysia, these are not Gulf countries, but any of these countries, you go to any of these places, first of all, there will be a dedicated Indian area over there. One area where only Indians live. In Singapore, there is an area called Little India. And there are these South Indian restaurants owned by Malayalis. मैं right बोल रहा हूं ना निहाल? So they are these days taking ACCA very seriously. ये foreign courses है, post qualification courses. You also after Chartered Accountancy can pursue some of these courses in case you are interested in higher education. But I'll tell you what, somewhere in my lectures, I'll be talking about one course. If at all you are interested in post CA study, some are like, sir, isme hum buddha ho jayega and there is going to be nothing left. That's a separate thing. But if you want to study anything after CA, I am going to give you an option. And that is the best option. One day I will talk about it. Today I will not waste my time. I am right now talking about these foreign courses. जो दूसरा जो best course I am talking about, no, that is an Indian course. These are foreign courses. So अगर India का CA goes to give UK CMA का exam, you get exemptions in some papers. Well, I think if there are, I am not 100% sure with these numbers, so don't correct me. It is possibly this, I am not 100% sure, that if there are 17 papers in CMA, 13 may you have exemption, you have to give only 4 papers. Matlab there are local company law and local taxation law. Only that you have to give. Otherwise, financial management is worldwide same. Costing decision making is worldwide same. Financial reporting also world mein they are integrating. They are making Indian standards as per global standards. So 13 papers ka exemption hai, only 4 have to be given. Numbers can be a little plus minus, but it is an example. Same is the case of people pursuing CPA. That means, can I say this is an agreement done by ICAI with UK CMA या AICPA? This has got nothing to do with taxation. There is no reason why it exists in section 90. They are just telling you that just like the two governments are doing a treaty, two associations can do a treaty. There can be an agreement between Mumbai police and Scotland police. You know, Mumbai police is treated as world's second best. And supposedly Scotland का police is the world's best police. ऐसा बोला जाता है supposedly. Do you know this? Only on paper. In Mumbai, no police knows before crime that it is going to take place. They are informed in advance. It's only that if you have paid that share, so you are free to do your crime. Otherwise, you are not free. If you have a policeman in your house, please sorry, but that's the fact. Okay? So, there can be an agreement between Mumbai police and Scotland police. But I'll tell you what, this point H has got absolutely no connection, nothing to do with DTAA ka chapter. Are we clear on that? Chalo. Also, now India can do something called a tax information exchange agreement. शॉर्ट में बोलेंगे TIEA with a non-sovereign territory. A tax information exchange agreement. TIEA. सर ये क्या होता है? Have you all understood DTAA? Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement. We will give you relief from double taxation. Mitro. Correct hai? Will there be some countries in the world where there is no income tax only? UAE, Dubai, no income tax. Is it possible that a resident of India has earned income in Dubai? Even if there is no income tax in Dubai, India has to collect tax, no? With a country like UAE, can we have a DTAA? I have a question for you. You have to say in yes or no. A country, and UAE is an example, a country where there is no income tax. A country where there is no income tax. Can we have DTAA with such a country? DTA. A for avoidance. When there is no double taxation only. Sir, why there is no double taxation? Because no matter what be your Indian tax rate, whatever be the Indian tax rate, that other country is not taking only any tax. If that other country is not taking any tax, that means you are paying tax only in India. When there is no double taxation, where is the question of avoiding it? There cannot be DTAA. Is that clear? We cannot have DTAA with a country where there is no income tax. But is it possible that people evade taxes in India and buy properties there? Make investments there? Possible? What was the second thing? Two things in every treaty. Relief. Relief is not applicable because there is no tax in that country. Yes or no? But do we still want this? India wants to know how many properties you have purchased over there, how many shares you have purchased over there. What are the two basic common main points in every treaty in the world? Relief, exchange of info. Relief, exchange of info. There cannot be relief because there is no tax in that country. Understood kya? But do we want exchange of information? So look at the name of this agreement. Whenever there is no treaty, we will do something called, whenever there is no tax in that country, we will not do a double taxation treaty. We will do a tax information exchange agreement. Matlab what Dubai has to do? Listen carefully. Give information about Indians making investments. It may not be of any use for Dubai, but it is useful for government of India. Dubai has to give all such information, and because there is no relief, there is only information, such treaties are called tax information exchange agreement. Is the meaning clear? Everyone? Meaning of TIEA? Question can still arise. Sir, Dubai mein there is no tax. So there cannot be double taxation avoidance treaty. We are clear till here? But we still want exchange of information. So we will do the treaty. With the treaty, Indian government will get the tax information from Dubai. Because Indian government needs. But what is that government ka benefit? Why will they do it? You have this question or you don't have. If you don't have this question, I will go ahead. India ki government ka to we have benefit. We will get information. But what is Dubai ka benefit? Why should we do a treaty like this? Why should Dubai do that treaty with us? आप समझा क्या? Listen. Dubai mein there is no tax. Chal agree. But can there be any other activity which is a very big crime in Dubai and very normal in India? An activity which is a big crime in Dubai but very normal in India. Sir, kya? Supposingly selling of drugs. Some countries in the world are very, very strict about drugs. मित्रों, strict मतलब सीधा death penalty है. And death penalties in India is they hang you by your neck. In some countries you are shot dead. Do you know this? और गवर्नमेंट का अलग ही स्क्विड गेम्स चल रहा. You've seen Squid Games on Netflix? Government is playing squid games with its citizens. Selling of drugs is a big, big crime. And in India, bro, every pharmacy owner is selling Corex cough syrup. You know that? That's a drug we have all taken in our childhood. Forget that. In every gully naka you will get, in every street you will get someone selling drugs. Bollywood में almost every actor is एक नंबर का नशेड़ी. हर्षित, don't look like that. Don't be surprised. I know that. ठीक है, अपन रोज करते हैं, सर को पता चल गया, कैसे पता? It's okay हर्षित. वो you know वो पाउडर को we put on the table फिर ऐसे करके. I'm talking about that. In India it is very normal. You know who is the biggest drug dealer in India? नहीं, कचरा सेठ 150 रुपया देगा. You don't know कचरा सेठ? It's okay. No problem. इंडिया का एक ड्रग डीलर है नियाल. It's okay. I know down south no one watches anything in Bollywood. If I talk about any Hindi movie or any Hindi web series, you just ignore me. Because without that example also you will understand the concept. That will never be difficult. Just ignore me. Don't ignore when I'm explaining things. But if I give Hindi movie ka example, then you ignore because I know you don't watch it. You watch only Mohanlal. I know that. Okay. So listen. India ki government will give Dubai information about such drug sellers. If there is any person who has committed a crime, any kind, drug ka sale, murder, robbery in Dubai and is hiding in India, so Indian government will help Dubai ka government to catch that person. आप समझा क्या? Everyone in the world wants to be friends with other countries. Whether they levy tax or they don't levy tax is a separate matter altogether. Supposingly UAE does not levy tax, so you mean to say that it should not be friends with anyone? It should, no. Financial cooperation, yes or no? So we will have such agreements as TIEA. Is that clear? Wherever there is tax, we do DTAA. If there is no tax, we will do TIEA. Clear hai? Chal. Next point. Under bilateral relief, every DTAA will have something called a non-discrimination clause. Every DTAA will have something called a non-discrimination clause, which means the tax rate of non-resident. That means people belonging to the other country and who are earning income and we are applying source in our country will not be higher than tax rate of resident. Tax rate of non-resident will not be higher than tax rate of resident. This is known as a non-discrimination clause. I'll explain. Chill karo. Khali read karke na. You will jump from the window, no. Then also you will not understand what is happening. Okay? Please let me explain. A treaty is basically an agreement between two governments. So both governments are making certain promises to each other. Supposingly me India, you Germany. Me India, you Germany. Hi Germany. Bolo hi India. Hi Germany. Let's do a treaty. When we will do the treaty, we will promise each other, look Germany, I will not tax your people more than my people. The rate of tax for your people will not be higher than my people. And same promise Germany will also give us. That means, can I say, we will not discriminate against your people. That is called a non-discrimination clause. We will not tax your people more than the tax that we levy on our people. That means we will not discriminate against your citizens. Mitro, you are getting little idea about what is happening. Understood what is non-discrimination clause? Both governments, and of course, same promise Germany will also give, that it will not tax Indians higher than Germans. What is India promising? We will not tax Germans higher than Indians. Germany is promising we will not tax Indians higher than. India is promising we will not tax Germans higher than Indians, and Germany is promising we will not tax Indians higher than Germans. Samjha? But this facility is not applicable to corporate assessing. The non-discrimination ka benefit will be given only and only to non-corporate assessing. Individual HUF assessing. Company hoga na, company. Company is corporate assessee. Company will never get the benefit of non-discrimination. Sir, iska matlab kya? Iska matlab, in India, when we tax foreign companies, obviously foreign companies will be taxed only on income earned in India. Principle of source. In India, when we tax foreign countries, unka tax rate is 40%. I have not taught you tax rates of companies. I have taught you individual HUF, AOP, BOI and all that. And for firms and companies, I told you that I will teach you in some other chapter. Correct again? But whenever I will teach you, one day we will be covering this concept in class. Our country taxes foreign company, kya rate? 40. But domestic ke liye, we levy only 30%. Domestic companies in our country pay tax at 30. Foreign companies pay tax at 40. Some of you all may be aware of this. Foreign companies are made to pay a higher tax rate, and if not, it is okay. I am telling you, take me on face value, one day I will teach you these rates. So what is tax rate of domestic company? 30. What is tax rate of foreign company? 40. Are we discriminating against foreign companies? That's my question. Are we discriminating? Yes, this is allowed. This discrimination is allowed. Corporate assessee will not get the benefit of. Corporate assessee will not get the benefit of non-discrimination. The benefit of non-discrimination will be given only to individual HUF. Corporate assessee will not be given the benefit. Is that understood? Mitro? That means, can we, if we have done non-discrimination ka clause in the treaty, can we tax individuals at higher rate than our citizens, our residents? No. But can we still tax foreign companies at higher rate? Yes, that will be allowed. The benefit of non-discrimination is not going to be given to corporate assessees. Only for small taxpayers this benefit is going to work. Is this clear? Last 2 points on bilateral. Then bilateral will get over, and today's lecture also will be declared as over. Last 2 points. no benefit to residents of third countries. No benefit will be given to residents of third countries. ऐसे शॉक में मत देखो प्रियांशु. You look at the line that I am writing in anger is not going to help because I am only writing. I am going to explain. Class notes and explanation. System is this only. That full subject I write and teach. If I have to reduce the time consumption of my class, I can make it half. If I just open the PDF so that writing time does not go, just explain everything from the PDF, and same PDF you will also be having. Same book you will also be having. Okay. So give me a chance to explain before you give me angry looks. I have not explained anything. No benefit to residents of third countries. So, me India, you Germany. Me India, you Germany. Hi Germany. Bolo hi India. If there is a treaty between India and Germany, will Indians get benefit? Stupid question I am asking. Will Indians get benefit? Yes. Will Germans get benefit? Yes. And Australians? My question is, India-Germany treaty, will Australians get benefit? Hey, please give no. अरे कुछ भी क्या? Anybody in the world can't take benefit, no? तो correct है, Australians can't get benefit. Now, there is a person who is an Australian. There is an Australian person. For example, Janvi. Janvi is an Australian. Janvi, if you are an Australian, can you get benefit of India-German tax treaty? No, obviously no. But she used her brain. She, on her face, has put mask of Indian. Australian is doing makeup and becoming Indian. Sir, क्या बोल रहा है? कुछ भी बोलता है. I'll tell you how. Janvi, you come to India. Find out which is the cheapest real estate location. Mumbai cannot come in that list. Any tier 2, मैं तो बोलता हूं any remote village. That's a very, very cheap real estate area. Take a small 50 square feet office on rent. Do a leave and license agreement. Janvi, you are Australian, don't forget that. India के किसी village में जाके take an office on rent. That will give you leave and license agreement. That office you take on rent and put a lock and go back to Australia. Now for all tax purposes, you are using that address, that Indian office ka address, which is only locked, taken on rent and then locked. You are not doing anything over there. But for all your tax compliances, you are using that as address proof and telling the whole world, see, I am Indian. See, I am Indian. Kaise? Because I have office in India, which is always locked. Understood the mask, the office that you have taken in India? An Australian who has nothing to do with India and Germany, but wants to take tax benefit of India-Germany treaty, is purposely opening an office in India only for the purpose of taking tax benefit. This is in international tax famously known as treaty abuse. You are abusing the provisions here. Australians are born cheaters, na? Those who follow cricket know this. Correct है क्या नहीं? तो ये Australian ने, you saw the style used. तो point J tells us what? This is an instruction to all the assessing officers of the country. An instruction to all AOs. Mr. Assessing Officer, if you are giving treaty benefit to any assessee, क्या बोला? Mr. Assessing Officer, if you are giving treaty benefit to any assessee, first check if that assessee is genuinely belonging to one of the two countries. If a resident of a third country is falsely showing himself or herself as a citizen of one of the two countries, only by doing the manipulation of which I gave you an example right now, then don't give treaty benefit. Do a thorough investigation before giving any treaty benefit to any assessee like that, and we will not give any benefit to residents of third countries. I think now you all have understood the entire point. Point J, everyone clearly understood. Benefit will not be given to residents of third country. Clear? And last point under bilateral. With this, bilateral gets over and so does today's lecture. But be patient. It's a matter of 5 minutes now. If DTAA relief is claimed, bada point hai, I will have to write it. If DTAA relief is claimed by virtue of being a resident of a foreign country, then it is compulsory that you bring a TRC, that is a tax residency certificate from that country. If DTAA benefit is claimed by virtue of being a resident of a foreign country, it is compulsory to obtain a TRC, a tax residency certificate from that country. Point writing won't help unless you listen to the explanation now. There is a treaty, listen carefully. This is the first condition. There is a treaty according to which country of residence will take tax. See, ultimately, treaty will give rights to one country and take away rights of the other country. Sometimes it will be home country, sometimes it will be host country. In this example, in this point, the home country will get tax. Which country will get tax? Home country. Country of residence. That means first tell me, which country will leave tax? If country of residence gets tax, so which country leaves tax? The country of source. Correct hai? Is that clear? As per treaty, host country will not get tax, home country will get tax. Take hai. Treaty done. Now there is a non-resident who has income in India. There is a non-resident who has income in India. That means, can I say India is the source country and residence is a foreign country? As per treaty, that country will get tax. So India has to leave tax. Yes or no? And if we have done the treaty, we will have to honor our treaty commitment. जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा. We'll keep singing sessions also someday. You agree that India has promised that as a source country, we will not take tax. That means home country will get tax. So if assessee is non-resident in India, India will not take tax on the understanding, look carefully, listen carefully, that the home country has taken tax. So that foreign country, which is your home country, that country will take tax and India will not take tax. Is that clear? But this assessee is very, very clever. Very, very smart. Just like India has residential status criteria, 182 days, 60 days. All the countries will have such criteria. He divides his 365 days in such a way that he stays 40 days as a 9 countries ke andar. So he becomes non-resident everywhere in the world. Thug life dekho, thug life. Thug life dekha hai? Na. Don't say iske aage ha, please. Thug life dekha hai? Na. He is becoming non-resident everywhere and therefore not paying tax anywhere. What was the treaty? I will pay tax in the country of residence. But some smart people avoid residence everywhere. You saw that style? Style देखा style? तो इंडिया बोलता है, बाबू भैया फैंस, मेरे को रिक्स मांगता ही नहीं. India says, I don't want any risk. Risks नहीं है, risk. I don't want any risk. You are a resident is what you are trying to say, no? You are a resident is what you are trying to say. So, from that country, bring this certificate. That government should give you in writing. Supposingly India-Germany agreement. बोलता है residence का country will take tax. That means Germany का resident, तो Germany will take tax and India will have to leave. So government of Germany should give in writing that this assessee has become resident in my country. He has paid tax in my country and dear India, you don't take tax. As per treaty because you are the source country. If you claim residence in some other country, that is what the point is. If you claim residence in some other country, then bring that residency certificate from that country. If you cannot bring that TRC, then we will not give you any DTAA benefit. Because some people manipulated the tax laws, everyone will suffer. It is easy to understand. See, understanding is very easy. Point finally kya hai? From that country, you will have to bring a residency certificate. Correct hai? You think it is so easy? You think governments across the world are sitting idle? एकदम free? बोला इंडिया ने बोला TRC, okay, we will make and give you. Free बैठा है हम लोग. India says TRC, so make TRC. Tomorrow India will ask for some new certificate, make one more. काम धंधा नहीं है. Can that government refuse? बोला no, we don't have time. And look at the bad news, dear assessee. You have genuinely paid tax in that country. And you genuinely deserve the treaty benefit. But because that government has refused to give TRC, you will not get treaty benefit. Unfortunately. To get treaty benefit, bringing TRC is compulsory because of stupidity of some people. Now some genuine cases are also going to suffer. Understood TRC ka concept, mitro? Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, congratulations, abhinandanam, badhai ho. That's the first part of the chapter, bilateral relief. Now, you will be very angry with what I am going to say. You will want to throw stones, anda tomato. Bilateral relief will never come in exam. DTAA ka 6 to 8 marks ka guarantee I have taken. That will come from unilateral relief. 99 out of 100 questions in DTAA are on unilateral relief. Why did I tell you this now? पहले बोला होता तो 1 by 1 you would have left. बोला छोड़ना अभी बोर हो रहा है. And second, if I wouldn't have told you now, so tomorrow morning what time to log in, you will not understand. Let me be clear. Tomorrow morning if you miss the first 5 minutes, in short you have lost 6 marks of your exam. Then you have to get your marks from 94. Or possibly 8 marks bhi ho sakta hai. Unilateral relief, first thing tomorrow morning is what we are going to do.